Welcome back to Because We Got High with Rhea, Kelly, and Bree. This is episode P. That rhymed. I didn't think it was going to, but it did. Not as big of an intro as the last episode.
I was ready to say my own name. Bree.
Yeah. I wasn't ready to say my own name, so I'm glad we did
Maybe
it.
we should do a pre-recording and then play it every time, and then we could just like hop into it. That might make things a bit easier, but it is the P episode. We've made it. This is a good one. I feel like the last few episodes have been good. The topics have been good, but I feel like these topics are the strongest it's been in a few letters.
Yeah, these are good.
These are good ones.
Porn, predators, and puberty. We are here to discuss. It's a wide range.
No, it's a wide range, but also all in the same category. I feel like it's all pretty sexual, but not at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It can
sexual,
be, but
some are like sexual on purpose. Some are sexual accidentally. Some are not supposed to be sexual, but people make it sexual. Yeah,
for sure. How are you guys doing though? Let's start off there.
Good. Good.
I think today's actually good morning. We're pretty laughy, all of us, and we're like in
we've
good
been
mood.
chatting
right?
before.
We're chatting. We're talking it up.
Yeah.
We're talking it up.
I'm chilling. I'm a little sleepy. You know,
I could tell.
You know how I feel about the morning. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I keep
but
yawning.
Once
but
again,
I'm here.
10:30.
I know, but it's except
Not
for today.
8 a.m.
I did say last night I went to sleep at like midnight. I feel good about that. I usually don't go to sleep that early.
That's
But,
awesome.
Yeah, I was so tired. This week I've been really tired. Who knows?
That's big of you.
Yeah,
Midnight.
thanks. It felt
Midnight.
big of me.
Damn.
Yeah,
Felt big of me.
Congrats. Sorry, I
Good.
just kicked
Congrats.
the
Oh no,
shit
it's
out of
okay.
you.
Let's just fucking
Fight.
brawl
Is it
right
just
here.
fight? I feel like Rhea and Bree are gonna fight. You guys were fighting
saying-
about.
we were fighting about Logan
boxers.
Paul and-
Yeah, but
now
I
you're
feel like
kicking each other under the table. I don't know. You ladies, are you
Yeah, maybe
good?
I
Are you guys
kicked
good?
you.
I feel like Bree and I though can fight. Like we can go back and forth.
Yeah, but
And
there's no ill.
There's
feeling.
there's no ill will afterwards, but we can definitely like fight because we were just arguing about, and I'm not gonna. Here's the thing, Bree is not going to change her mind, and I'm not going to change
very
my
stubborn,
mind.
both
And
of us.
yes, and that's why we butt heads. But at the same time, like
Put some money on it.
Let's fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
I will put money on
We
it.
could put money on it. When is this fight happening?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Exhibition.
Whatever it's called.
Expedition.
Here's the deal. We were talking about Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather fighting. Because we were talking about how I've changed on Logan Paul. I like Logan Paul now.
Yeah,
I
we're
feel
kind
like
of Logan Paul
I've
girls.
come around on Logan Paul. I think he's smart. I like his podcast. So I'm coming around on Logan Paul. Jake Paul, not so much. I know he's like a good fighter. I can give him that credit. I just, as a person, I don't really fuck with Jake Paul. I don't think he's as smart as Logan Paul. But then we started talking about the fight,
Exhibition.
It's being planned for June 5th, this says.
Okay.
Oh, that's the same time as Bryce Hall fight. Same day.
It's a Saturday before The Bachelor.
Maybe they're
Wait,
fighting
the same day?
Yeah, June 5th.
Oh, that'd be weird then.
That would be like a battle of the fights.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are they
more
not-
people would watch Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather because it's Floyd
Obviously.
Mayweather.
Well, obviously
Yeah,
people
obviously.
would rather watch
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Logan Paul is fighting Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, has never lost a fight. Floyd Mayweather has never lost a fight. 50-0, 27 knockouts.
He's barely been knocked down in his whole career. He's been knocked down like once or twice, ever.
He's
Floyd
won.
Mayweather.
He's won 27 times by knockout, 50-0. I also brought up the argument that yes, Conor McGregor, not super in his prime, but still one of the best out there. Not a boxer. Fought Floyd Mayweather and lost.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Conor McGregor has a better shot at beating Floyd Mayweather than Logan Paul does.
Well,
So-
yeah, I don't think Logan Paul's going to knock him out or anything. I just think it's going to be not as easy as a win as you think it is because he's so much bigger. Floyd Mayweather is old
He's
and
not that old,
retired.
though.
He's not that old. He's only.
44.
Yeah, I was.
But think
44
about
to
how
me
much
doesn't seem that old.
younger Logan Paul is,
But
and
think
how much
about the experience Floyd Mayweather has.
No, I know. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm not saying he's going to lose so easily.
Before this, you were kind of...
No, I said he's not gonna knock him out or anything.
Not knock him out, but you were kind of like Logan Paul's got a
No,
shot.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
Logan Paul's
I think you
only
guys would be
26. I didn't
surprised.
realize that. I thought Logan Paul was my age. He's only 26.
see, that's what I'm saying. Logan
This
Paul's
says
been
that
through
it's
it.
probably going to be 6 rounds instead of like the normal 12. So it's like
Yeah.
a different type of fight.
Different type of
I
fight.
just hope it's not one of those. All of these fights are one round, 30 seconds knocked out, not even worth buying it.
Yeah, that has been the trend.
wanna
The
be
past couple
optimistic
fight that
about
we've
it.
seen, the past 2 that we've seen have
right,
been similar
right.
to
You
that.
want a good fight, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it will be better than what you think it will be.
I think that the pomp and circumstance leading up to it will be fantastic. I think that Logan coming into the ring, being an asshole, like he's a showman as well. I think that he's really good at doing all of that. That will be really fun. When it comes down to it, I don't think that he'll last more than 5 minutes. Like, I just don't. Like,
I think that Logan Paul
can't wait.
is aware in his head. He's probably like, I'm going to get the fattest paycheck out of this.
For sure.
Yeah,
and
facts.
at the same time, I get to fight. It's an honor to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah.
How is
so
that
I don't think
fair,
he
though?
thinks he's going to win.
Like, how can someone that's never, what does he do, one boxing match before with a YouTuber?
I think
How the fuck
he's
do you
done
end
2
up-
and he lost both.
How do you end up?
He's even.
How do you end up fighting Floyd? How does that happen? This world
publicity.
is crazy
I'd say
right
it's
now.
a publicity stunt for sure.
For
Probably
Floyd Mayweather as well.
I say for them both,
Well,
definitely.
yeah.
But also for, like you said, it's an honor to like fight this man. It's also like even if you lose, it's like got him next time. People love the sport of it when Floyd Mayweather's involved. They're always like, oh man, like he's the
Yeah,
greatest.
then it's like
I
the
think if
GOAT.
somebody were to beat him, like if Logan Paul beat him, people would hate Logan Paul for that. They'd be like, fuck you for that. Like how could you?
Not,
you know what I mean?
not,
Like whatever.
not necessarily though, because Floyd Mayweather is not a great guy. So
True.
he's
I
really
forget
not a
that he's a
great
little
guy.
problematic.
So
Yeah.
the thing is, people wouldn't really be like, people would be like, oh my God, that's fucking crazy. Logan Paul beat Floyd Mayweather. I think that would be awesome, right? Like, whoa, Logan Paul, YouTuber,
Yeah, of course it'd
comes
be
out
awesome.
Would
and
be
beats
sick.
Floyd
Would be
Mayweather.
sick.
Would be sick, 100%. Like, in the back of my head, I'm rooting for Logan Paul because of how crazy of a reaction that would
I just watched a video
But
where Jake Paul said he thinks Logan has 0 chance to win.
Yeah,
Jake Paul's a dick.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Well,
but
Jake Paul's like, but I would
Jake
beat
Paul's
his
a
ass.
dick and he's an idiot and I
Yeah.
hate him, but at the same time, he's right. Like it's Floyd Mayweather.
He said he thinks it's going to be like a good fight and surprise people like how good he
Yes.
is, but he's still like there's 0 chance.
Okay, that's kind of what Bree's saying.
He's not gonna win, but I don't think
fair.
he's gonna get knocked out in 1 second.
I don't know.
I think he can take a beating because he's like so young and healthy and like a big dude.
I feel like nobody's
it's not
actually
gonna
really
hurt him
beat the
as
shit
much
out
as
of him
any
now.
other.
Like even the times he was fighting, like he hasn't really gotten his shit rocked, really.
Yeah,
and he will.
But
He's
also,
about to.
like Floyd Mayweather isn't like known for like his hits. He's like a defensive fighter, like we were saying.
but he's
So
still
they
Floyd
could just
Mayweather,
be like
you
running
know?
around.
I don't think Floyd will knock him out, but like
Well, what Floyd Mayweather did in the fight with Conor McGregor was he just tired Conor McGregor
Yeah.
out. Like
Also,
Conor
people
McGregor
think
was
he's-
so tired,
Yeah.
and then all of a
just
sudden
gassed.
that's when Floyd Mayweather
I think
like
people,
came in.
Logan even said like Floyd can just like carry you for like a few rounds just to keep the fight going because he's
For
smart
sure.
like that.
Yeah,
For sure,
To
and
not
that-
end it really.
Right, 'cause
That's what he
he's
did
good
with
at-
Conor McGregor. He
Yeah.
just like tired him out, kept him going, and then
Right.
boom, it was done.
He's smart in the way that he can space out the intensity because everybody going in is obviously nervous to fight him, so their intensity is high. Same with Conor McGregor. Like you come in hot and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and you lose steam quick. And Floyd Mayweather rolls in like, nah, it's chill. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna play with my food before I eat it.
He's
Like that's
scared.
his deal.
Wait, did you guys watch the Logan Paul and Ben Askren fight? Or did you
Yes.
actually see
Jake
what-
Paul.
Jake
Oh,
Paul.
sorry, yeah.
Jake Paul and Ben Askren. Yeah,
Jake
that was a nightmare.
Paul shitting on Conor McGregor so much. He is trying to be him so much. You see the way he comes out and walks exactly like
he
him.
literally models himself
Say-
after him. I thought that's like his thing. Didn't
No,
Robbie Fox say that?
he-
Didn't Robbie Fox say like
he
Logan
does,
or
but he
Jake
doesn't.
Paul's like?
He like shits on Conor McGregor and like hates him, but then tries to be exactly him. Like it's embarrassing.
For some reason, I thought that he like literally copies everything he does, like on purpose. Like I thought it was a purposeful thing.
At the weigh-in, he did the same like
Yeah.
like
He does.
yeah,
he
he
does
just
everything.
wants
He's like
to be
clowning to be the same. Like he wants to take over him. He wants to be like, I'm doing everything exactly the same as you because I will be you eventually. Like
That's
he
so
wants to like take
embarrassing.
over his life. That's his like shtick. So he's
fought
doing it on purpose.
He hasn't had a real.
But he's not doing it as well as Conor McGregor.
It's just embarrassing
And then
when
Dixie
you're
and
talking
Charlie
about.
give him his belt.
Yeah,
Yo, that was so weird, Dixie and Charlie in the ring. I was losing my mind. I was pretty drunk at the time, but I was screaming, being like, why are Dixie and Charlie in the middle of this ring? Like,
Yeah,
what is happening
love
here?
them, but that's so discrediting.
It was
You're getting
so
your fucking
weird.
championship belt from two TikTokers.
It was
No,
so
but it's actually
weird.
not discrediting when you think about who's fighting. When you're like, oh,
Yeah.
True.
it's a bunch of
And when
YouTubers fighting each other. You got the two biggest TikTok stars.
just doesn't
Like
make
if
sense. And
you had
Charlie
Pete
and
Davidson,
Dixie,
Snoop Dogg, like,
yeah,
announcing
if you,
it, like-
That was so
Exactly.
fucking
They were
funny.
great.
If
They were
you
Snoop
get
Dogg and Pete
Charlie-
That
Davidson.
was like us announcing what it would sound like.
Yeah.
They were like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was like, he's fighting like the
Pete Davidson goes,
1940s.
I'm about to come. Dying.
Pete Davidson said, I was laughing so hard. I wish I was as stupid as Jake Paul because I would be so happy.
Yeah.
It's so true though, but at the
He
He
same
said that
time,
about,
like,
didn't he say like, I don't fuck with Jake Paul? Like he said that like
no,
into
he
the
literally,
mic.
and
Yeah.
then he said, Ben Askren was like, why don't you? And Pete was like, well, do you have an hour? Like, he was like, I don't think he's a good
Snoop Dogg.
person. Like,
Run me my
Not
motherfucking money,
funny.
Jake Paul. Give
Yeah.
me my motherfucking money.
so funny. But when you think about it, like when people were like, oh my God, why is Charlie and Dixie giving the belt? It's like,
It is a Triller boxing
It's
match.
a Triller boxing match. And
Jesus.
also, it would be disrespectful if they were giving the belt to Floyd Mayweather, but it's not. It's a
Did you see when they gave the belt to the wrong person for a second, like on another fight? They like walked to the guy who lost.
Oh my god!
No, fucking way.
Yeah.
It's just that's what I'm saying. They're just they're like young and stupid, and I never think that they look young and stupid until I see them in a setting around actual adults and actual large people.
'cause they're, like,
they walked
actually
out,
children.
they look like two little girls walking onto that
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, get those children out of the ring. Like, what are they doing in there? That's just what I thought. When they're on their own, they don't look so much like that, but they looked ridiculous.
Well, do you guys think, because I see all these influencer type people or whatever, and at this boxing match, they're like talking to Jake Paul, and everyone's like, yeah, go Jake Paul. I just don't know if I could ever be like, go Jake Paul.
No.
I really don't. Like,
Not even
I
if
was
the paycheck's
Logan
big enough?
100%.
Let's go.
Logan 100%. I don't know why I'm just like, Logan, yes, Jake, no.
What if the
Jake-
paycheck was huge?
Oh, I mean, if Jake
Because that's obviously what's happening with these people. There's no way that they're like wanting to root for him unless
That's a
they're
good point.
being paid to be there. 100%.
Right, that's a good point.
Charlie and Dixie aren't like my best friend Jake Paul. They're
yes,
cashing some checks.
That makes sense, because I'm seeing like
Yeah,
Addison
Triller pays
Rae,
them
like
so much
Yeah.
to
Addison
post.
Rae's like hugging Jake Paul, laughing with him. I'm
No
like, I
fucking way.
guess in that setting, you're gonna like Jake Paul when he came to the office last time, and Fran and I did a video with him. We were like, oh, okay, Jake Paul, not bad.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
was on BFFs, I was like, oh, I like him. But
Yeah,
then I'm
but
like,
then you're
I don't
like,
know. Do I like him? I don't
no.
know. I don't know about Jake Paul. But like 65 mil, I'll be a friend, want to chill. Like,
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
whatever. Anyways, Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul. Don't know. That's what Brie and I were arguing
Yeah, that's what we were
about,
arguing about.
before this.
That shit's
before
fun
this
to talk
show.
about, even though we know nothing about it.
Know nothing about
Yeah.
it, and then Manny Pacquiao came into the mix, and
Trying to fuck on Rhea.
a few years ago, Manny Pacquiao was in my Instagram live, and it was a whole thing in the Philippines. I was like a Philippine star, so no big deal. No big deal. I've been in the
Philippines queen.
boxing world. Okay. All right, let's get into the letters and the topics for today. Like we said, we got porn, predators, and puberty. But before we get into the big topics for today, as always, this podcast is we're starting off with porn. I feel like everyone's excited about this topic. Let's just ask the question. Does everybody in this room, Noah, you cannot answer because I don't want to know what you're up to. Is everybody watching porn?
Yeah.
We're watching porn in this
Yeah.
house. Lots of porn in the
Yeah,
house.
we are. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like it's one of those things that people tiptoe around. They don't want
It's
to
like,
admit
why?
it.
Everyone watches porn.
Everyone's curious.
Sure, I'm
Not
woman.
everyone watches porn though. You'll be surprised.
I know,
Not
that is
everyone
true.
does.
My
That is
first
true.
my first question to you ladies, because I know that a lot of girls, women think this way, is porn cheating?
No.
Like, if your boyfriend or husband's watching porn, do you feel as if he's cheating on you by watching this?
No, I think it does.
No.
It does feel a little creepy though.
So here's the thing. You're like, oh, they're watching porn, but then you're watching porn. So you're like, I can't
Yeah.
really get mad at you for that.
You know what I
But,
think
like,
it is for me? I think that if I see someone watching porn, or like a guy, my boyfriend, I find out he's watching porn or whatever, I'm not jealous of it or anything, but I am looking at it, wondering like, what are you looking at? But then I have to remember, like you said, that when I'm watching porn, it means literally nothing.
Right.
But it's really hard to
Yeah.
trust that guys think the same way, because I'm like, I know how I think and I trust myself. I don't trust your ass at all. So it's like, what's the deal?
That's very
But
true.
I wouldn't say it's like cheating. I think that's crazy.
Right. So I think that you brought up a good point, because I feel like women's preferences for porn don't really display like how they are sexually in real
Anything.
life.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
a lot of women watch lesbian porn,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
are
Because
not
it's a safer spot.
lesbians. Yes, it's a safer spot. The women, they really take care of each other.
Yeah.
They're not just like fucking their brains out. It's like very
That's-
like
It's not
That
even
is
like,
the appeal.
oh God, what the fuck?
We had an overwhelming amount of voicemails, people calling in talking about, is it weird that I watch lesbian porn? And the answer is obviously no, because in regular porn, all they focus on is the guy getting his dick sucked, the guy coming everywhere, the guy fucking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's never centered around the girl. All that's happening to the girl is that she's like literally getting ripped open. When it's lesbian porn, it's like a sweet little sensual moment. Like there's a lot of like a
beautiful story.
makeout. There's like, nipples. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
eating out, stuff like that. When is the last time you've seen a guy eating a woman out
No,
in regular
it's just-
porn? Yes.
Yeah, it
100%,
literally
yeah.
is just like,
Yeah.
and then the girl's like hardcore sucking his dick, and
Yeah.
he's like, let me put it
Ridiculous.
inside you now, and it's like a whole thing.
She's choking on it. She's throwing up
Yeah,
on
yeah,
herself.
yeah.
It's like,
That's
all right,
not-
that's a mood.
that's
sure.
not crying.
Maybe I'm in the mood to see that once or twice, whatever, but not on my regular like time. by
And
myself.
I read that like women really enjoy lesbian porn because it focuses on those specific body parts on a woman. So then you get like, it's just like a sensory thing where then you imagine it happening to you.
Exactly.
And it's not necessarily like you're a lesbian.
No, exactly. It's easier to put yourself in that position. It's I feel like women and men are different when it comes to porn, because men can just like watch a dick going in and out of vagina and like come themselves, right?
Yeah.
I can't just watch sex and come for myself.
No.
I have to imagine it. I have to like be in that mindset, think about it, see something, see an example, and then like think about myself in that situation. It's just, there's just more thinking involved. There's more work to be done. And that shit's just not going to get it done. That's why you need the sensual shit in a lesbian porn.
Yeah. And so that's why it's like, well, if you're going to get mad at your boyfriend for watching porn because you're like, oh, that's what he wants, then your boyfriend can just be like, well, are you a lesbian? Like, why are you with me? And then that makes zero sense. And you're like, no, I'm not, like, whatever. So I feel like that's how the argument goes out the window. It also, I think, depends like how often they are. Like if they're a porn addict and they're watching porn
because
every day, multiple times a day, like...
Like me and Nick are in a long distance relationship, right? So we probably watch porn more often. Like, how much do you think you and Hank are watching porn separately?
I don't know how much Hank is watching.
Probably a lot.
Probably.
I would
think so?
No, but
probably more than you think, I would say.
I would say more than I don't know if it's more than I think. I think I have a good awareness of like when I'm not around, he probably is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not every moment when I'm not. It's like I walk out the door.
minute you leave.
The minute I leave, he's opening up porn.
It's on the big screen.
It's more so when it's like, okay, I'm not giving him any.
Yeah.
And it's been a couple days, and I'm also like not home and he's home. I'm like, he's definitely jerking off and watching porn. Like obviously I haven't done anything with him. Like he's gonna gonna want to jerk off. Like it's gonna happen.
Have you guys ever walked in on your boyfriend's jerking off?
I have.
To porn? So have I. It's the most awkward thing in the world. Literally, nothing is more awkward.
It's
nothing
the
is more
most awkward
than
thing. Actually, no, not even. I actually
not yet. Not walked in technically.
No. I walked in, but he wasn't even watching porn.
I walked in.
So it almost is like not even that bad. Cause you know what I mean? Because I feel like if I walked in and I like saw the porn he was watching and also jerking off, then I would be like, whoa,
I gotta go. I'm going back outside.
Right. I think, but it was just like, you know, like, okay, this is just awkward now.
Yeah.
And
remember
also,
that
like,
scene in I Love You, Man, where he's like, why are you like jacking off to like pictures of your girlfriend? Like,
what if he was just holding up a picture of you?
That would feel so complimented. That would also be like, I'm in the other room.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm right here. That's where I get sad about porn, where people are like, oh, I'm like jealous, it's cheating, whatever. It's not that I care if you're looking at porn. It's just, if you're looking at porn and you're in this room and I'm in this room, like just have sex with me. I definitely want to have sex.
Yeah.
Like just ask. If you don't, then go.
Yeah.
But then otherwise I'm like, well, what the fuck? What am I doing over here?
Well, I think that's why I remind myself not to get offended sometimes when I'm like, oh, they're definitely watching porn, like jerking off. It's like, well, like I said, like if I'm not in the mood to have sex and they're horny, like what am I supposed to tell them? No, like,
True.
yeah, whatever, go do whatever you want, I guess. Like I'm feeling lazy. I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah,
so
I'm not into
go
this
do
right
it
now.
yourself.
What's that movie where he's addicted to porn?
Don John.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Don John.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, I
a
mean,
weird
people
thing.
definitely have porn problems.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like if you know,
And then you can't have sex in real life because you're like the porn just fucks you up.
I actually feel like you would be able to tell in your relationship if porn was like fucking up your relationship.
Oh,
for
100%.
sure.
Definitely. Do you guys know that on Pornhub, they didn't release their 2020 stats because they had some sort of like morality issue with it. But the in 2019, 42 billion visits to Pornhub.com. And that's only Pornhub. 42 billion visits in 1 year.
What do you guys feel about Pornhub?
So much.
I'm all right with Pornhub. I usually go there because I'm lazy. Or like other weird, it depends on what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I feel like when I was younger, like when you were like curious and you would just Google everything, I'd
sure.
go on like everything and like I'd be with my friends and be like, this is crazy.
Definitely.
But now it's just like porn.
You want to hear something
Yeah.
so creepy?
What?
I have some creepy things too.
when I used to try to find porn because I was too afraid in high school and I was too afraid to go on Pornhub, I would go on like those those like sexual Twitter accounts.
clips.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sexual
there's
clips.
there's
Type in
clips of
sex on Twitter.
Literally, I would just type in sex on Twitter, and there would be like those sexual Twitter
Yeah.
accounts. It's like just gifs.
Yeah.
Just gifs of people eating out, and like there's not even full porn. I'd be like, oh my God. And then finally I got brave enough.
Yeah.
I finally got brave enough to head to the website.
That's so bad.
First time I accidentally found porn for the first time when I was way too young. It was like when YouTube was like new, and I typed in like YouTube or
Same.
Tube,
You
and it
did?
was
lesbians.
yeah, and it was just porn.
Yes.
Yeah,
That happened to me. I
Jizz.com?
typed in YouTube wrong with my friends
It was
in
like-
my basement.
yeah.
And there were 3 girls having a threesome. It was lesbians. And we were like, ah! And then we
is
invited
crazy!
more friends over to be like,
Yeah.
guys, look what happens when you type in YouTube wrong. Because it was like, wow.
Yeah, that's
Porn.
the first time I saw
That's
porn.
wild.
Yeah.
Is that both that was your first time? What's the
Yeah.
first time you saw porn?
Well, that was the first time I saw like porn and was like, whoa. But the first time I watched an actual sex tape was when I was in 10th grade, and my sister and her friends showed me the girl from Teen Mom, Backdoor Teen Mom.
Oh, Farrah Abrams.
Farrah
Wow,
Abrams.
what a queen.
Backdoor Teen Mom.
Backdoor Teen
It's my
Mom.
first sex tape that I saw.
about her.
And I
You guys are
remember
so
at
young.
the time I was like, oh my God, whoa, like she's saying like so many dirty things.
Yeah.
And I honestly lost my virginity like maybe 3 months before that. So I wasn't really fucking,
Oh,
like
so
I
it
didn't
wasn't-
really,
yeah.
I didn't really understand what to do. And I think looking back now I'm having a moment. I think looking back, I understand why my boyfriend at the time wanted to break up with me to go have sex with more people, because he was like, all right, well, we're,
Yeah, say now it's not.
yeah, I've gotten
everybody.
it done. Now
I wish I could fuck every
more
girl in the
people.
world.
Yes, like I want
Now.
to fuck more people.
Brie, how old were you when you saw this porn? I'm about to tell you guys, and I feel like I'm feeling now self-conscious that I was way too young.
Oh no! When the first time I saw porn, I had to have been like in middle school.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
sixth grade.
same. I was in 5th grade. I was in 5th grade, but we went to my friend's house. You know how everybody has like the bad influence friend? I had a bad influence friend who we were just like thick as thieves, but she didn't seem like a bad influence ever. So my parents were like so unsuspecting, but all she wanted to do was like look up weird shit, like and find weird shit. And we
I was
were
that friend.
And she came to I went to her house once, and she was like, wait for my parents to leave. It was her mom and her stepdad. She's like, wait for them to leave. And then she like took me into their room, pulled out this from on top of their closet, pulled out this big shoe box, and I was like, what the fuck is this about to be? And we open it up, and it's full of like huge dildos, like gigantic dildos, and a bunch of Polaroids of her and her mom and her stepdad together with these dildos like up his ass, up her ass, up her vagina, all these Polaroids, and then VHS tapes of porn. And we popped one
I
in.
came along those.
We popped one in, and it was called Dr. No Smoking was like the thing. And he was like, you had to go visit Dr. No Smoking. And he would come in and you would like talk to them, and he'd be like, have you been smoking? And it was like a weird thing. And then there wasn't even like a plot line. It just suddenly turned into a circle jerk with like 10 men. That was the first porn I ever saw.
Wow.
And I like think about that sometimes. I'm like, wow, I was like 12, I think. Maybe
that's
11, 12, something like that.
A young
so
age
young.
to get exposed.
And then we would just like dick around in AOL chat rooms all the time and see porn
Oh
that way.
yeah, like Omegle. Do you guys have you ever been
Omegle,
caught
no.
searching
AOL chat
anything
room.
bad by your parents?
Yes.
Because I ruined my family at one point. So I was like, it was too young, like 3rd grade. Like I was like a creepy little kid, I guess. Like I was like really creepy.
Yeah.
And all my friends were like, on my street, the only people that lived on my street were boys. So like I hung out with boys, and they were always like talking about dicks and boobs and shit. So this is when like the internet was like new, like you could Google shit and you could do it. And I went over my cousin's house for the weekend because our parents were like going to a wedding, and it was like my cousins through marriage, and it was like 3 little boys and a girl, and we were all sitting around the computer, and I was like, let's type in stuff. And I just type in like penis, cock, like all these horrible words, and then we like
Horrible
search it, and
words.
it's on. And it was so crazy to me, and it was on Google, so it was just like stock images of like,
yeah.
it probably wasn't even a real penis.
Nah.
And we're sitting there for like 20 minutes trying to figure out how to clear the history. We can't figure it out. We can't figure out how to clear the history. And I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm like, it's fine. They're not gonna look. They're not gonna look. And then get a call like 2 weeks later. My dad had to sit me down. I felt so creepy, and I
horrible.
just lied. I was like, it was them. It was the boys, but it was penis and dick. So it was obviously me.
When
He was
he-
like, what were you guys doing on the computer? Like, what were you looking up? And I was like, I got so defensive. Like, what are you talking about? Like, not fair. What are you fucking talking about? But I'm like a little
You're
kid.
in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, dad.
Fuck you, dad. What the fuck? I'm smoking.
Yeah.
But they obviously knew it was me because I got so defensive and started bawling my eyes out. And then I couldn't look my aunt in the eyes for like maybe 2 years, and then I finally like started hanging out with them again.
I feel like that's kind of a good way to handle it, though. I'm asking.
It was humiliating.
I have such a similar story.
Really is. I feel like everyone has a story.
That's
like
the thing.
that.
I have such a similar story, right down to like my dad being involved. It was same. I was with my bad influence friend at her house. We were typing shit on the internet, but we found this website called girlygirl.com. I don't even know if it still exists, but it was a gay porn website.
I'm going on right now.
And we went and we were on it at her house. And I remember being like, oh my God. And then I came home like later and was in my head, I was like, that was a weird, like it was full of dicks. And I had never really, we had only been like watching lesbian porn for the most part. So I was like, wow, what are all these dicks? Like, so I went on, I typed it in and I saw it and I scrolled for like a second. And then I was like, no, this is crazy. Like I can't have this on the computer. Like my parents are going to walk in. No way. So I like closed it, but I didn't even think about clearing the history. Yeah. So my dad then like an hour later goes onto the computer and he's like, he's barking from upstairs. He's like, Kelly, like yelling at me. And when I get that, I'm like, fuck. And so I go back upstairs. So I go back upstairs and I'm like, yeah. Again, 5th grade. And my dad's like, what the fuck is this? And it's pulled up on the fucking computer monitor, and I was like, and like a gateway. I was like, no. Oh my God. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, I don't really know. And he was like, I went to go type in Google and this shit comes up. What the fuck is this? He's yelling at me, literally yelling at me. What the fuck is this? This is disgusting. What are you looking at? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know. We looked it up at my friend's house and I don't know. Like, I don't know. And then he just was like, never again. And I was like, okay.
And then you can't like look at them
you didn't
know
porn until you were 28.
Exactly. And then I didn't masturbate until I was 28 years old. So yeah, literally. That's the kind of shit that happens when you don't handle this the right way. It's like, it's horrible.
I never got caught specifically, but okay, this is a story that I've been debating in my head if I wanted to tell it for the past 10 minutes because I'm thinking nobody in my family listens to this besides like my mom, and if my dad does, that's fine too. Like they've told me I could say whatever I want. I'm thinking like outside of my immediate family. I don't think anyone's listening to this specific podcast, right? So I'm going to tell the story and hope for the best.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, I would say towards the end of high school, so not that long ago, maybe 6 years ago, I got in trouble and my parents were mad at me about something. Don't really remember. And I was on Twitter and I came across a family member's Twitter, not in my immediate family. And I'm very creepy in the sense that I look at people's likes on Twitter. Like it's just something I do. Like I look at people's likes.
I did that a lot in high school.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they always in high school? I'm like, what are they liking? So I found a family member's Twitter, went to their liked tweets. And it was like all porn. It was like all.
Shit. I forgot others can see.
It was like all porn,
right.
and definitely like an older family member who has no idea that anybody can see their likes. So I was like,
that's down bad.
I was like,
hysterical.
oh my God, they're liking like all this crazy. It was like bondage, lesbian. Like I don't know.
I don't get why do you feel the need to like it? Just watch it.
People like it so they can go back to it later.
Right,
they're like, I'm going to
this is
save
an
this.
older person who clearly doesn't know how social media works.
Yeah.
So I see this and I'm like, oh, this is juicy. I'm not going to be in trouble anymore because I'm going to lay this on my parents and they're going to be like, whoa, and they're going to forget what I did. Yep. So I go downstairs and I tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, and I tell him and he's like, what? And he immediately calls that person up and is like, no. Whatever, like Rhea was on Twitter, saw your Twitter, and I'm just letting you know, like everyone can see your likes. To this day, it is awkward between me and this family member.
100%.
To this day, I swear to God, it was like very awkward for a little bit after. I'm not I can't follow them. I don't know if I'm blocked, but I know that they don't follow me anymore. And I don't really know specifically. I've never even gone back to their Twitter to see if I could look anymore because it was like a very like my dad was loving it. Like he thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But obviously
well,
this
how old
person
were you?
I mean, I must have been 17, 18. So like,
okay. Still weird, awkward though.
Awkward and weird.
Yeah.
For sure. And to this day, I think it's still awkward and weird.
I would too.
And that's really strange. It's also not that long ago.
I won't reveal any more information because if I reveal any more information, then people in my family are gonna start knowing.
Yeah. But that's only like 6 years ago. That's not that long ago.
No,
not enough time has passed for that.
Not enough time.
15 years type of thing.
Has passed.
Also, your parents, you always, I feel, tell your parents that shit, but then they blow up your spot immediately.
My
I would
parents
kill
are the
my
biggest-
dad if he called and blew my shit up like that.
My parents
are you
are the
fucking
biggest
serious?
gossips. No joke. Well, I've learned now 6 years later not to tell my parents
you
things
can't.
that I don't want someone knowing
That you
the
want secret.
second later.
Yeah.
They call
1 second.
people. I've been with my parents where they find something out, they get off the phone, and immediately they're calling everybody in their contact list.
Yeah.
They're like, I got a text the other day from my uncle being like, congratulations, so happy for you. And I was like, what the fuck could he possibly, what did I do? I don't deserve a congrats right now. I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
And I call my dad. I'm like, did you tell Uncle so-and-so like anything? Like, I don't even know what you could have told him. And he told me what he told him. And I was like, what? Like, that's what you feel? You feel the need to get on the phone and
weird.
call people and tell them I'm doing something in LA in a month? Like, that nobody gives a fuck. And then I'm getting congrats about it. Like, it
so
makes
funny.
no sense. Biggest gossips in the world.
It's wild. Parents always do that shit.
Always.
At least I feel bad for that situation. I'm sorry that you're now estranged slightly from your family member, but at least you weren't finding all the weird shit like alien and tentacle sex or like hentai porn. Like, have you guys seen that shit? Where it's like Japanese, like, cartoons
I've
pictures
seen
for it.
I've seen anime porn, and let me be honest.
There's porn of like Family Guy and shit.
Right. I've never, part of me sometimes is like, do I want to click this anime porn just to see what's good?
I've watched it just to see,
Just
and it's
'cause I'm
disturbing.
curious.
It's like, it makes you confused in your head. Like, if that's not what you're into, because it's not what I'm into. I'm not into cartoons, but they're like drawn pretty well, and they're like, I don't know, it depicts a scene.
Can I pull some up on my computer?
Yeah, pull
right
it
now?
up. Yeah. But it's also like
this will be the first time I'm watching anime porn,
strange.
because I've been alone and have been like, do I click this just to watch? Not
well,
to
the thing is,
I've clicked
it like will fuck up your algorithm though if you like click too many. Like, if you like click on, all of a sudden you have like all kinds of, you don't want to be like served nonstop.
But I don't
cartoon porn.
I don't look at porn on my computer.
True.
That's
honestly neither do I.
That's actually
I'm always on my phone.
crazy
Yeah,
move.
Pete
I'm always on my phone.
in the control room can definitely see that I'm on Pornhub right now.
That's
but
fine.
whatever.
That's all right. I was on Pornhub yesterday.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm clicking anime. Oh yeah, hentai.
Hentai porn. That's what it actually is.
Okay, that's
anime is
real
like a little
porn right
different.
now.
But, well, anime is a genre that's not just porn. Hentai is anime porn.
Okay, it's a
Yeah.
type. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I like to be aware of these things.
Yeah,
but
anime is just like cartoon, Japanese cartoon.
here's the thing. I feel like I can definitely get turned on by it if they're fucking, right? Like at the same time, like anybody who's fucking and you're seeing boobs and vagina and dicks and shit.
It makes
like,
you think about your shit.
Right.
But it's still like it's confusing in the brain because it's like, this is a cartoon and this.
I feel like
have you guys watched like these Japanese cartoons like when you were younger? Like, I feel like there was always Pokemon was
Sailor Moon.
written in the same. Sailor Moon, fucking loved Sailor Moon. Which, by the way, Sailor Moon is hot as fuck. Though all those girls were really hot.
That's crazy.
See, I don't judge anybody who's into this because I feel like I can see how people can be into it.
I'll
but
describe
it's
it in
just
real
not
time. There was just a man like massaging his dick through his pants, but again in a cartoon form. Oh, now it's a huge
real dick,
veiny real
right,
dick.
like
cartoon real dick.
Now she's like rubbing it with her finger, also cartoon.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine all of this in a cartoon.
Kelly's just
That's
commenting
well,
with
because
it.
nobody can see it, so I'm commentating
Well,
it.
to be frank,
All right.
to be frank, I'm not feeling horned up.
No.
Yeah, no, it's.
But we'll see
I'm
what
feeling
happens.
like I'm watching Cartoon Network, and then it got a little weird.
Just watching
Right.
porn with your friends.
Yeah,
Seeing if
we're
any
just-
of us get
We're
horny.
just checking out some hentai. Checking out some hentai.
But like, what's the random like weird things of them going? "Argh!"
Like, look at her. Right, so right now this
Like,
bitch is
why
like
are they doing
twerking on him.
Her fucking ass is popping.
And her ass is
But
popping.
I'm not turned on. Oh, okay. She's getting titty fuck now.
Now she's getting titty
Those are
fucked, yeah.
crazy nipples.
Wow,
Why are
the
titties
head of that
literally
dick
like
is so
that?
detailed. The head.
really
She's
is.
also talking while
Oh,
getting
her,
titty
like,
fucked.
claws.
She said my hard erect nipples. Oh my god, how
Shut
are
the fuck
how
up.
are her boobs moving like that?
Crazy.
No, that's
She's like pushing them
stupid.
from the outside in. Like, it's the dick is not going in between.
she said
she's
if
just
you-
like slapping them to the
hand-
side.
If you want to
like-
come, do so at any time.
Oh wow. Okay.
Imagine being the
there's-
guy who like draws this.
Right.
and it must
oh
take
my
so
god,
long.
that's so much cum. Wow.
Oh my god!
Whoa, it's all over. Okay.
Come all over the cartoon's
That
face.
looks like cottage cheese.
My face and boobies are all sticky.
It looked like somebody with like an icing gun
Captain's on.
just like exploded.
No, it's like I kind of want to see, but I can't turn it because we'll get
I'm
taken
good.
off of YouTube.
Yeah, no.
We'll
send you the
also,
link
this
for
is
later,
Like, this is like
Noah.
an HR
Her
problem.
nipples, like
Yeah, this is-
pulsating. What is that bush?
It's
Where
her.
did the
It's
bush
her.
come from?
No, it's not her bush. It's her wet
Oh.
vagina. Oh my god.
Yeah, see, I'm not like my vagina isn't tingling at
No.
all. Like I'm not turned on.
I'm
by
more.
it.
I'm just like, like I can't say. Oh
kind
no,
of, like,
she's getting
crazy.
flushed in the cheeks.
No, I
now.
feel like I'm just watching a show.
she's fingering herself and getting flushed in the
Yeah, and
cheeks.
she's saying,
Again,
"No, I
all in
can't take it
cartoon. We're
anymore."
still on cartoons.
This is all cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's graphic, the fingering
It's
of herself.
really
now she's
graphic.
soaking wet because
They
that's
both
real.
came
That works.
pretty quick.
Yeah, this is pretty
fast.
unrealistic. Everything about this is unrealistic.
Can I
What
tell
is
you
up
guys
with the
that?
titties?
Look at
that
the
you can-
now
they're
he's
like-
just like massaging her titty. It's weird.
Wait, this. Oh my god.
Wait, is that
I'm
a
sorry. We
cartoon?
have to watch this. This is a cartoon.
wow.
Who's
it like
riding
3D
reverse
cartoon?
reverse cowgirl.
Oh shit!
my God.
That one looks really real. This one's
Oh my
like it's a cartoon, but it's like as if we're watching a Pixar movie. But it's
Wait, I think
Pixar
they
porn.
make like Pixar porn, like they like Miss Incredible, like
Do
those
they?
type of
Yeah,
things.
no,
Miss
there's
Incredible. Of
there
course they
has
do.
to.
Search
Look it
that,
up.
search
You have
that.
to.
This girl is
no one
riding
knows.
reverse
No one's like,
cowgirl.
I mean,
search
it's
it up.
probably-
I think they do that on
There's
Miss
been, like,
Incredible.
Family Guy ones, and I've been
This
like, what
is
the
incredible
fuck?
porn. Wait, can I say that yesterday I tried watching
Is it
porn
just that?
and my Wi-Fi went out and I was infuriated. Like I was like,
Fuck.
come on.
Damn.
And I shut my phone and I was like, that is weird. Let's get it together. You're gonna be okay.
No, I've done the
you
same
ever
thing.
been in that moment where
Yeah.
you're like, I was just
Relax.
like,
I've
I've done the same thing.
right.
Have you guys ever gotten where you're trying to? This may be a little bit different. If you're trying to masturbate but you're too drunk, I feel like has that ever happened to you? Don't leave me out here like this. Have you ever tried if you're too drunk?
And I'm
because you
too-
can't. Because guys are like, I can't like come. I'm too drunk. I always thought that was bullshit until like I've gotten too drunk and tried to masturbate at night and like been yelling angrily, being like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why can't I come right now? Because
Really?
you're too drunk. Yeah. I looked it up. I was like, no way. Is that really true? I always thought it was a lie. It's true.
I've never had that happen
Yeah.
to me.
I've
I
never
actually
tried.
don't know
I
if
think I
I've
just pass out
masturbated
when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
well,
I'll
yeah.
have sex and like can't come when I'm drunk.
Right.
Yeah, well,
right,
that's
right.
also. But I feel like if you're having sex when you're drunk, it's like you're swept
yeah.
up in the moment. You're not really
Yeah.
thinking about like actually.
All right, so this is Mrs. Incredible getting fucked by
Girl?
a girl.
What? It seems to be with a strap on. Is that Miss Incredible getting fucked with a
Noah's
girl
face right
with
now.
a strap on?
Yeah, no, Mrs.
Wow.
Incredible slowly.
Miss Incredible. By the way, Miss Incredible has the face mask on. She's got the face
You
mask
think
on
they
her
reach
eyes.
out to like the
Oh my God, she's got the big eye on her chest, on her big ass titties.
She has the incredible eye on her big titty. She has the face mask on.
Slowly fuck.
Her hair, yeah, it's like sensually
This
too.
is the slowest
it's like
fucking
slow
I've
and
ever
sensual.
seen.
It just from behind.
What?
It's pretty boring, honestly. This is the most boring.
I'm not seeing any strap on.
He's not like splitting Miss Incredible in half. I feel like he should.
No,
be,
I'm
you
bored.
know?
It's not a he. It's
Oh, sorry,
a
it's a she. It's a she.
Mrs. Incredible's ass in this video is fucking.
her titties
She has the
are not that
Incredibles.
fat in the movie.
She has the
But her
Incredibles
ass is.
eye on her chest, and then she's also got like it looks like some kind of underwear on, like gold underwear. Is she wearing?
No, it's her gold belt. Like it's.
Oh,
part
it's
of her
just the belt. It's just the
uniform.
belt. I have a little bit of a glare. I can't see so far, but
Yeah.
that's
That's.
I mean,
awful.
that's fucking crazy. That's everything about this is weird. But again, some people are into it. We're not trying to kink shame.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
Maybe
it's
people are into
necessarily
it.
weird. It's just
It's just a whole. It's a whole new
funny
world.
to watch when
Yeah.
you're not really jerking it off.
Right. When you're not
Yeah.
in the zone and you're watching
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
took Lola Bunny out of the new Space Jam for like.
No, they
this
sexed.
type-
They sexed her down.
Oh, they
is what
sexed her
did.
down.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
took away her
Oh.
titties. They made her titties
Because I'm
smaller.
sure that's on the internet
Oh,
too.
that's
like,
probably
Yeah, for sure.
everywhere.
Lola Bunny, how weird. What do you guys think about like bestiality porn when you're getting weird into weird shit like that?
Is that fucking animals?
Yeah,
Oh.
but also furries, like fake people dressed up as animals and stuff. Like people,
Oh, that's so
it's
creepy.
weird as fuck. It's super
I
weird.
cannot get
That is
behind
something
that.
I can
I
kink
Before
cannot
we-
get
I will
behind
definitely
any
kink
sort
shame
of.
bestiality.
No, it's
Yeah,
weird as
that
fuck.
is
I want to move into
problem.
predators.
You should go to jail for
Yeah,
that.
how's that legal to be on the internet?
I have no idea. I want to. It's not actual animals. It's like
No, but that's on the internet.
true. That
Like,
in like the dark web.
how do you
though.
not-
You can't find that like on Pornhub.
Furry shit. If people are into that, that's fine.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whatever, people
Yeah, that's
dressing up, like
whatever.
I get
Whatever.
it. But
Bestiality
I
shit?
mean, I don't get it because I'm not into it. But I
No.
get if that's what you're into.
Sure.
Bestiality, like fucking animals, you deserve to be in prison.
No, it's
like,
fucking
that's
weird.
fucked up.
But so going off of that, before
You're
we
a
get into
predator.
predators, there's one
Yeah.
more thing I want to say. Somebody submitted this. It's at the end of one of the voicemails we'll listen to later. But have you guys ever heard of ovipositors before? I had never heard of this before. They are sex toys. Well, ovipositors is something a little different where you can, it's like a suppository, but for your vagina, for like ovaries. And they have these things, they're sex toys, but they're eggs and they are supposedly alien eggs. And so you like are masturbating, but you're supposed to stick this up yourself and it allegedly like impregnates you with an alien. Like that's like the thing. It's the hotness. Look at this. You can get sex toys that lay alien eggs inside you. So obviously we tried it. And it's just like these weird little jelly eggs that you basically stick up you like Benoit balls, you know, those little silver balls that everybody like
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey or whatever, they're always talking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
That is the same like the same vein, and it's fucking strange. So people, this is like a kink. People do this and they're like,
There's-
oh, look, this is a sex toy. This like inserts it.
Yeah, there's dragon dildos that come
Yeah.
inside of you.
Yes,
They
that's
talked about
it's the
on
same
KFC
thing.
Radio.
Same
Yeah.
similar situation. But somebody said this in a voicemail the other day, and I was like, I've never heard of that my whole life, and it seems fucking crazy. Fucking crazy.
What do you guys feel about VR porn?
I would love to try it. I have never tried it, but I would love to.
So here's the thing. I feel like watching porn on your screen, like you asked if that's considered cheating with boys, whatever. No, we already decided that is not the case.
Yeah.
If you were like in it, that's a whole other level for me.
Well,
I'm like, that's a little bit too much.
Have you seen
like
the Black Mirror episode?
weird, yeah.
Have you seen the Black Mirror episode
No.
about that? It's called, I forget what it's called, but it's these two guys and they go into this like game universe, but one of the guy friends goes in as a girl and that's like his thing. And then they just like fuck all over the place inside this game world. And
It's
then
wild.
they're best friends. So they like avoid, and the one guy's married with a kid and it's like, weird. And they meet up at a certain point and they try to like talk to each other, like, are we into each other? And they kiss like in the real world and they're like, no, we're not gay, we just like to fuck in this game. And so the guy like came clean to his wife, and so then like every year they like they do a thing like on one day of the year, like the wife goes out and fucks around and he like goes on to the game and fucks the guy.
It's so weird.
It's really strange.
It's
Whoa.
like crazy.
It's a really weird episode.
concept.
Interesting
It's called,
arrangement.
It's on the newest season. It's called Striking Vipers is the name of the episode if people are interested
And
in
it's like
seeing
realistic. Like they're really in
super
it.
real. Yeah. It's like famous actors. You'll recognize the actors. They're
Yeah,
like
I've just never watched Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So.
Black Mirror is great.
Pretty
By the way.
awesome,
Black
yeah.
Mirror is so good. But yeah, I don't know. What do you? So the VR thing, you're out on VR porn for your boyfriend. I think I would be too. In that same.
It just
thought.
feels like a little too real.
Too
Yeah,
real,
yeah.
I mean,
Just like-
if you're single and that's what you want to do,
Right.
True.
For sure.
Fucking do it
especially
up.
if you're like with those VR things, I feel like unless you're linked up with somebody, you probably are like linking up with people on the internet, So it's like,
Yeah.
are you gonna link up with a stranger and like fuck the stranger in this VR porn and then
Right, like when people do.
Well,
what
that's
is it
like
Are you in
the
love
guy
with that
from
stranger,
Impulsive, Mike. That's how he got like caught like cheating on Lana.
Yes,
And she said it last week. She was infuriated
because it was a real girl on the other
and you're
end.
getting a
Right.
virtual blowjob.
Exactly.
Right. Like that's a no.
that's a
That's
no.
gonna be
no
a no
fucking
for
way.
me.
I would
Big
lose.
no
I
way.
would
a lot
lose
of
my
people are
mind.
like the future, like it's gonna be so blurred that you can't even know what's real or not. And then it's like, Ex Machina, that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
It's like gonna be weird where it's like not real people, but they look real and like.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
It's,
to think what the
I
future
already
will
have a
be.
hard time
Creepy.
being like, I don't know what's real and what's fake. Like I go through days where I just have to like sit in silence all day long because I'm like, I don't know like what's
is
real and what's
life
fake.
right
Like, am
now?
I
Yeah.
awake right now? Am I asleep right now? What's happening? Like it's just a weird thing. And I feel like now the lines are more blurred than ever.
They definitely are, and it's kind of scary.
All right, ladies, let's get into predators. But before we do that,
We're talking about porn and like splurging a lot, and I think when you splurge a lot, you get dehydrated, right? All of your
Absolutely.
shit's coming out,
Absolutely
and it's
you
like,
do.
damn, I'm like dehydrated. I have nothing left
masturbating
in
is
me.
dehydrating.
Yeah,
fact.
masturbating is dehydrating. And the best way to help your dehydration is with Liquid IV. Because with Liquid IV, you get 2 to 3 water bottles in one packet, which is like insane. I don't like drinking water. I'm just being honest. Like I
neither.
always say, I drink so much water, but I don't. I drink maybe this a day. And if you throw a Liquid IV in there, then that's like 2 to 3 water bottles. So imagine you do it twice. It's like you're the hydration queen. Even if you masturbate all day fucking long, you will still be hydrated. It's awesome. It's so much healthier than sports drinks. It's not all that sugar. And you don't need to drink as much water bottles as you need. And it's the same exact thing. So it's awesome. I love it. My favorite flavor is lemon lime. I drink one every day at my desk. It's fun. It tastes good. And it's super easy. And I'm also always using it when I'm hungover because I am the
Yes.
hangover queen. And it is one of the best hangover helpers ever. And it's so easy and it actually tastes good. So you can grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco. I love getting things in bulk. Costco fucks. Or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code HIGH at checkout. Once again, that's 25% off of anything at liquidiv.com when you use promo code HIGH.
Let's talk about predators. I feel like predators are everywhere. They're all around us, even when we don't realize they are. And Brie,
Yes.
tell us about
okay,
that.
so
because I
before
need
this
to hear.
episode, I looked up, I literally Googled list of predators from Hollywood. And these are all people that have actually went to court and like had cases against them with like lots of essential evidence. A lot of them you're going to be like, yeah, the predators. But some of them I was like, what the fuck? So start off with the newest predator, James Charles. We have Woody Allen, Kevin Spacey, James Franco, Jeffrey Epstein, Matt Lauer, Sylvester Stallone. That one kind of threw me off.
Interesting.
I did know about
Jamie
that one.
Foxx, Riff Raff, obviously. This one blew my fucking mind. Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Whoa.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised
Morgan
by that.
Freeman.
I think I
Now,
remember
do we
hearing
know-
about that.
Do we know if these are like they went to court and they're found guilty? Like all these people are guilty?
There is
Not all of them, because I think Sylvester Stallone is
there's
one
just
that
like
was
so
like,
I couldn't read all of them.
Okay, so these are people who are just accused of it. So So someone at some point accused Morgan Freeman of being a predator?
Yeah.
Wow.
Next one. This guy seems like a stand-up guy. Love him. Neve Schulman.
Neve Schulman?
Yeah.
I'm actually not.
Well, did he try to sell you
off
off to his cousin or something?
Yeah.
His like cousin or his nephew or something. He when he came to the office, he left and then came back and was like, "Are you Rhea?" And I was like, "Yep." And he was like, "Oh, so and so like wants to, I don't know, it was weird, like wants to talk to you, take you on a date, something like that."
Yeah,
and I was just like, whatever. But that's not, I don't think that's predator behavior. But it was
behavior.
It definitely took me off guard.
I'm sure also too, Neve Schulman, he probably gets a lot of people doing that shit from Catfish. Like he probably is like, he probably gets like accused of being a stalker all the time. That's what I would think. Because Catfish is kind of like stalking. Like
it is.
They go and they find this person when they stop answering and they like hunt them down, confront them at their house. It's like definitely crazy. So I can see how those lines get a little blurred.
It's pretty crazy. Ryan Seacrest.
Heard about that.
Heard that, yeah.
Seal.
Yeah.
Interesting. This one really hurt me. Ben Affleck. And the last one, you guys remember the big three, the magicians.
Oh my God.
David Blaine.
Chris Angel, David Blaine.
David Blaine. God, not Houdini, right?
Would never be Houdini. So it would never be
David
Houdini.
Blaine. Who was David Blaine? Were you David Blaine?
I was David Blaine.
She was David Blaine, yeah.
Call me a predator. Call me a predator.
Damn.
Those are the ones. Some of them just blew my mind. Like Morgan Freeman, Sylvester Stallone too. I just fucking loved him. So I was like, damn.
Same.
Yeah, those are interesting things. But I guess it is important though to say or to think about how like people get accused all the time, and it's always like you believe the victims first for sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes, in a list of 20 people, a couple of times it's like not right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. There
Which I feel bad about.
It is important to note that obviously you believe the victim, right? Like you want to believe the victim first, but there are certain occasions where
it's just not
the
true.
person who it's not true, and then the person who accused the other person is then admits that they were lying and they were like looking for something. So that does happen, but in a lot of cases that does not happen, and it's true. I think I want to talk about James Charles for a second because I feel like
his life just got ripped away from him.
Definitely, YouTube demonetized everything.
Morphe
canceled. Basically, his career is absolutely tanking. And I think that I'm so disappointed because I feel like
this year, a couple months ago, you were like, I really like James
I was like,
Charles.
oh, James Charles.
I love James Charles.
Really
until all this
sweet.
news, I watched James Charles videos like every time they
His
came out.
views
I
were,
watched
like,
them on schedule.
therapeutic. They were just like nice to watch.
Right,
I just like
and I was
him.
like, oh, I think James is so sweet. I think he's like misunderstood sometimes. But this is not good. The amount of people, he's not careful.
One allegation.
It's not one allegation. It's just bad news. So and also I feel like I've seen people that I kind of know that have lived in LA have like tweeted out like James Charles is a predator.
Oh yeah,
and so it's sad to see.
With James Charles specifically, the power thing is where
that's where it is.
Right. It's like if he was just a regular 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I also think it doesn't bode well for him that the whole thing with Tati Westbrook, even though James Charles like turned out to be right in that whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
It was
now it kind of validates it.
When she mentioned that, like, I think it was her or was it Shane Dawson who was saying that James Charles was like not forcing, but like was really throwing himself onto straight guys and like making them feel.
Tati said that, but so did Jeffree Star.
Yeah, and apparently
at dinner with her family, he was making comments about the waiter.
Right, apparently, like coming on to straight men who were clearly not interested, and so you hear that behavior, and then you hear this, and you're just like, he really just like, wasn't careful, didn't care. He was like, I'm a millionaire, but I'm a millionaire, famous millionaire, but at the same time, I don't acknowledge those things. In certain circumstances, I do when I feel like I can hit on people because I'm James Charles. Yeah, but then all of a sudden, I'm reckless with it because I'm also forgetting. Oh yes, I need to be careful because I am James Charles and I am a millionaire.
It's like, you are James Charles, you're a millionaire, and you cannot find someone your age that wants to hook up with you.
Didn't he say in his video he was like, I'm desperate?
He's like, I'm desperate.
But it's like, I'm sure you could find someone.
And I took away from that video when he said I'm desperate was meaning like he didn't, so desperate that if anybody was giving him attention, he was just accepting that attention and giving it back, not like looking into ages, what the hell is going on. Yeah. But the age of consent's like generally 16, but 18 is like legal. So it's, what's the deal? I don't know. I hate that. I hate the like 18 is legal. Like I hate how it's like legal for you to like now have sex. Like that to me feels strange to say. Like how we were talking about this the other day. I forget where we were talking about it, but when maybe it was on our own podcast, when Bad Babies OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking about how like, oh, she's barely legal. Like she's just turned. That to me is disgusting. If you are like hot and turned on by someone who's labeled barely legal, that to me is predatory. Creepy. I'm like, that's fucking gross. Like,
or
that
if a guy has to double check, like, are you 18? Are you legal?
No,
but it's
gross
like you want to fuck
me.
them regardless, you creepy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, just because they say like, oh, I'm 18 in 3 weeks, doesn't mean you're suddenly gonna be like, whoa, well, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you already were like rubbing up on them. Like, what's the fucking deal?
You were already interested.
You're already You're already
and you
interested.
Still are, but she's not legal. It's just like sounds so.
I just
gross.
hate the word like legal associated with your body. Like it just feels weird to me. Something about it is bizarro to me. But I don't even know. But do you guys think it's interesting that that guys, or maybe they do, maybe they don't, that guys don't necessarily have to worry about predators the same way girls do? What do you think? Or do you think that's ignorant for me to say?
It's not at all, because 99% of rapes are by men.
True.
So if you bring up all the statistics, I hate when guys are like, well, we get raped too. It's like, yeah, like 1%.
Yeah, like
it's
sometimes.
very different.
And I saw this clip of Joe Rogan being like, yeah, guys do get raped, but by guys.
By guys. Yes.
Get raped by guys.
You. That's the thing. Yes. And like the gay community, I know that there's like a lot of rape, like a lot of terrible like sexual assault and all of that. And that's horrible. We're not discounting that, but it's
all by
guys are more often than not the ones who are predators. And I feel like maybe women, maybe gay men, people who are like could be potential victims of predators are always having to keep their head on the swivel and having to think about like, oh shit, somebody's coming to get me, or oh, I got to be careful here. Whereas a lot of guys can just like walk down the fucking street and not worry about it at all.
Right, like a white,
walk home alone
a white straight man walking down the street,
not a care in the world,
not thinking.
They don't even put their head up. They could look at their phone the whole time. Meanwhile, we're like looking around the whole entire
I'm
time.
always thinking, because I'm like, oh, I want to wear this outfit. I want to wear this cute outfit. And then I'm like, when I walk on the street, and it's not like a conceited thing where I'm like, everybody's staring at me. I'm just like, I know like that's how it is in New York City.
On the side of
everybody on the streets are yelling things at you, and you just feel like you can see them staring at you up and down. You're just like, I just feel violated.
It makes you feel gross when you shouldn't. It's like, I liked this outfit, I love it, and now I feel gross for what reason?
Exactly.
Because of
I still think
creep.
Wear whatever you want. That's what I wear whatever I want.
Same.
I feel comfortable in. But at the same time, there are times when I walk on the street and I'm like,
I wish I didn't wear this just because of those creepy people.
Right.
And it sucks to have to think even before you leave your house, like, what kind of attention is this going to garner? Like, why, and guys always say, or no, they don't say it anymore, but people used to say like, oh, she's asking for it, like based on her outfit. It's like, no. Just because I'm wearing like a cute outfit doesn't mean that I'm like asking to get raped. Like that's actually not what I want.
Oh my God, that infuriates me so much.
No, it's like nuts, but it is literally a thing you have to think of. And I was reminded of that the other day in like a predator way when we obviously were in Aruba, and I was like texting with one of our guy friends and like, and a little bit of poor taste making a Natalie Holloway joke. And he was like, who is Natalie Holloway? I was like, who is Natalie Holloway? I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Serious?
I was like, it's one of the biggest like, disappearances, like murder, rape, whole thing.
We talked about this at dinner, and we went off. And I was like, how do you guys not know?
How do you not know? And then I was like, it's because guys, it's not drilled into their head from the youngest age, like, hey, you can't go on vacation with your girlfriends because you might get abducted by a man, raped and killed. Like that's not a thing that guys have to hear. Like it's just never.
Well, how old
it
are
doesn't
we?
happen.
And my mom texted me on the plane saying, I'm so scared you're gonna get raped in
Of
Aruba.
course.
And I was like, guys, look at
my
this.
mom, same thing. My mom was not happy that I was going to Aruba, and she didn't mention it, but I know that she was not happy.
My parents didn't care, which makes me concerned. But we'll just
because they've been there. They've been there. My parents have been there too, but not since Natalie Holloway.
My parents just still are like, anywhere that a girl goes alone, you're gonna get.
And even so, like you see, like a group of guys, right? There were guys coming up to us. They want to talk, whatever, and immediately in your head, you're like, I'm not talking to this random person.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking to
especially
this
in a foreign country. It's like, well,
like,
what are they gonna do to
right?
us?
Like, who knows?
Also,
that's the immediate thought.
And
completely a perfect example too. Sorry, keep going. You go
I
first.
will say that guys were coming up to us in Aruba or whatever. And obviously we weren't interested because majority of us have boyfriends, but
it's not what we were there for.
Yeah, no. But two guys in front of me and Fran who came up to us started talking to each other in a different language, and
that scares the shit out of me.
And I said to them, I said, why did you guys just start talking to us in English, and then you guys start talking to each other in a different language. What are you guys communicating about us? And then the guy said, I wanted to know if he was telling the true story of like who we are or whatever. And I was like, what? Like that to me is about
That's sketchy.
just
That's what I'm saying.
sketchy.
That's
I don't want to talk to you
weird.
anymore.
It's sketchy. I called him out for it because I was like, I know that you are now communicating in a different language in front of me because you don't want me to know what you just said. And now you told me what you just said, and it's exactly what I thought. It was weird.
Yeah, it's really strange. And I was surprised that he was on. I remember that. I was
surprised he was honest.
Yes, I was surprised he was honest in saying that. But they were drunk, so it was also
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
But still, like that kind of shit. It's like you don't ever think about it. You don't ever think it's going to be a problem. Like if you're a guy, you just don't. You're just not thinking about it ever.
Life is so much.
But not to discredit,
carefree.
because we know it happens. We know there are some.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
women-
Oh no. Guys can also predators
Yeah,
also
yeah.
prey upon guys. Yes, 100%.
sure.
But it's funny when you think about how often we have to think about it versus like how not often guys have to think about it. Most
Definitely.
guys.
They
don't.
Most guys.
Yeah, maybe gay men, but guys.
That's what I'm
don't
saying.
think about it.
It's wild. What do you guys think about predators, like teachers being predators? I feel like that's kind of hot in the news lately. A lot of teachers
hooking up with their students.
hooking up with their students. A lot of teachers lately. One of my best friends has a teacher from her school just killed himself the other day, like kind of recently, because a woman from like 20 years ago came out and was like, we had an affair when I was 16. Like this shit sucks, and now he's like living this life, and I should have spoken up earlier. He's probably done this to other girls, and turns out he was, and he like killed himself. Whole thing.
Wow.
But they had like a relationship, and so she was like saved all of their text
16 and a
messages.
teacher?
He was like a coach, like that's always like football.
It's
coach.
always
Yeah.
the football coaches.
Always a football coach. But so
There was
he
a
like
drama teacher at my school who
a
did the
drama
same
teacher.
thing,
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What is wrong with people?
with a
who-
guy with a boy.
A female
really?
teacher.
No, a guy teacher with a
A
boy
gay
immigrant.
relationship.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Oh, that's
really
even more,
interesting.
even
I think
crazier in my
he might
opinion.
have killed himself too.
Oh shit, for real.
Yeah.
That's fucked, because when you're in high school, you're like scared to be gay, and he probably preyed upon him.
100%.
You
Yeah.
can be gay with me.
Definitely,
Completely.
and made him
You're
feel
so right.
tried to make him feel
Feel
comfortable,
safe.
and that's
Totally.
a predator.
That's a predator.
And that's called grooming, by the way.
Right,
That's
right.
grooming,
Yeah.
where you try to. People think. I feel like that happens also a lot in the gay community, but also for straight people. When you're older, you are hooking up with someone younger, and it's almost on the line of like, oh, you don't know anything, so I have to like teach you stuff. Like you don't know about sex, like lose your virginity with me, and like I'll teach you everything you need to know because I know so much. And the younger person in that situation is always like, wow, I admire this person with all their knowledge. They're gonna show me so much. I'm gonna now be like this well-versed sexual person. And the older person just like wants to fuck a younger person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're
it's-
just making it seem like it's
Right.
this luxury.
and then it
it's this
turns
great
into
thing.
this like dependent relationship for this younger person who's like, oh well, because they're being showed love and affection, and they haven't yet in their lives dealt with somebody like kicking them to the curb. You know what I mean? Like we've all had breakups, had situations where you have to like cut it off and whatever, and it sucks, and maybe you were treated poorly. But when you're that young, you like haven't really been treated poorly by an adult yet. Like there's a difference between being treated poorly by your boyfriend in high school than treated poorly by like your adult boyfriend or girlfriend, I think.
Definitely. And you brought up grooming, and I think that was something that was mentioned often with James Charles. And now
Yes.
that's something that we won't really know the answers to, right?
Yeah,
like
we
we
won't.
don't know how in depth James Charles was talking with these people. We
True.
don't know
So true.
what kind of grooming situations were going on. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's also something that
Super
people are
true.
like raising their eyebrows about. I would like to talk about the biggest predator monster there is, R. Kelly.
Oh fuck.
R. Kelly
Fuck
Kelly.
R. Kelly.
is single-handedly like the biggest piece of shit on earth, and I feel like
Is he in jail?
he's in jail
He's
now.
in jail right now, yeah.
I think it's crazy that it took so long for him to be put in jail after it's been going on for 20 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
the allegations against him. And also still people to this day who are diehard R. Kelly fans
Yep.
that do not believe that R. Kelly did anything wrong. It's
disgusting.
disgusting. The things that if you are
R.
not
Kelly
aware,
groomed him in a way, too.
No, for sure.
Totally
groomed,
did.
For sure.
Totally did.
If you're not aware of the things that R. Kelly did, you have to watch Surviving R. Kelly.
It's horrifying.
It's
It really
terrible, but really gives you like a really good insight to what happened. I mean, the parents of
the parents.
kids
The
too,
parents.
like they really just dropped the ball. I mean, it's not 100%
My parents
their
would never.
fault, but they fucking dropped these kids off at R. Kelly's house and said, "See ya,"
Kids.
just they're
Yeah.
literally
16,
like
15,
just,
16, 17,
just
I think
so they
were their
can
ages.
get a record deal.
That's kind of the whole power thing, because that's what happened with Michael Jackson too.
Right, I was going to say
Completely.
Michael Jackson.
Will you give a quick rundown for people that don't know?
For
R. Kelly.
Of R. Kelly.
Sorry,
Okay,
R. Kelly.
well, R. Kelly basically had this house that he had
Several houses,
but this one house where he had it was the main house, and they did a tour of it actually in Surviving R. Kelly, I think, where you can see like there's like a really dark bedroom,
the Atlanta house, right?
Really dark bedroom, everything's down, piss buckets where they can't go to the bathroom, they gotta pee in buckets. The girls are all in separate rooms, they can't communicate with each other, and there was one woman specifically, and I think she may be out of it now. If I remember correctly.
Maybe,
I don't remember their names, but I think there was a few that actually ended up getting out of it. She did an interview with TMZ, and you can see her like looking at R. Kelly and being like, no, I'm okay. And you could see she's being like held hostage. Some people's parents showed up to the house throwing rocks at the window, like screaming the name, didn't come out, would get the cops to come with them, but the cops just didn't. This was the whole thing that was confusing to me, because I was like, why aren't the cops just like fucking raiding the house and going in? But I guess you need like a reason or whatever.
Also, these girls were like brainwashed. The reason they even ended up in the house in the first place, though, is that R. Kelly would like promise them, he'd like camp out outside of high schools, outside of like after school games and practices and things. So he would pick up like athlete girls who were also like interested in a record deal, like thinking like, oh, maybe I can sing, maybe whatever. R. Kelly would be like, come to my house, I got a recording studio, I got all this shit, like let's hang out, let's mix some tapes, whatever. And so it would end up being like a small group of girls going to the house, and then he would like have sex with them, be in love with them, and like get them obsessed with him, like
not
brainwash them literally. But he was not in love with them. No. They were in love with him.
But also one story that really stood out to me was these parents took their daughter to an R. Kelly concert. She was invited backstage, and it was all downhill from there. It was like R. Kelly, you can get a record deal. They wanted her to live with them and like another person who was like R. Kelly's guy, and they had to sign off that she could go stay with them and like work on a record deal, and the parents literally signed off on it.
Oh my
and God. And they weren't able to get her out after. Like she literally they signed away, and she got stuck in this house.
That's so scary.
And it's so frightening and scary, because even some of the girls at the time of the documentary were like, no, we're like still like in love with R. Kelly, and it just, you could see that there's nothing there. There's nothing.
Completely brainwashed.
Groomed
to no other.
Yeah, groomed, and also just like abused. Like he just abused the shit out of these girls. Like he would beat them up, but then he would also have sex with them, and like you said, like lock them in rooms, like
pee on them.
Pee on them always. Obviously, and it's just crazy shit. And he's a true monster. But like there are so many people that are like him, and so many situations like that all over this place. But we don't hear about it because it's not a celebrity. You know, like we hear about R. Kelly because he's a celebrity. Think about all the people that like the movie Room, or like J.C. Dugard.
Ariel Castro, the guy in Cleveland that had 4 fucking girls for 16 years.
Right,
in
just keeping them in a basement.
Yeah,
fucking crazy. Like I don't understand how these people get away with it, or how they. J.C. Dugard is always a story that I think about, where she like had a kid in captivity. Like all
is
this.
That the Room movie? Is that true?
The Room is true. I don't know if it's actually based on J.C. Dugard. I can't remember if those two are the same. I know
that movie is just fucked up.
The movie is crazy, but the movie is based on a true story for sure. But it's everything about all of that to me is just like, I think, where are your parents? Why wasn't somebody looking after you? But then you can't really blame the parents in situations like that where they get abducted. Like people sometimes get abducted, and it's like then they all of a sudden their life is over, their life is ruined. They're like being raped, having kids, having to take care of a child, and then in one situation, J.C. Dugard, they found her like 16 years later or something like that, or 10 years later or whatever. And she has this like adult child. And it's like, well,
I'd rather be dead.
It's like now you have to live with this kid forever. But that's a whole other thing where it's like, this kid is my kid. I love this kid. But the dad is like the rapist who held me in captivity. It's like, how the fuck do you, how do you get past that? How do you live?
I'd rather just be kidnapped and murdered than kidnapped and held captive.
Completely same.
Totally.
That's so scary.
It's horrible with no thoughts of like end in sight.
You have to trick yourself into liking it and being okay just to be okay,
just to survive.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's about you tricking yourself. I think you get tricked, like you get brainwashed. What do you guys think about Michael Jackson? Because obviously that's such a hot topic. People, Michael Jackson, an icon, some of the greatest songs of all time. Didn't we have this fact the other day? Thriller is like the most fucking watched or listened to song ever, something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember
it makes
exactly what it
sense.
was, but he has like every record.
Obviously, it's Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't want to, but at the same time, this is what I don't get. People who try to defend Michael Jackson because they're like, oh, well, you know, maybe he didn't touch the kids. It's like, well, he still slept in bed with young kids.
Weird.
He still slept in bed with young kids. No matter if he touched them or not, that is
He
very
clearly
weird.
had some like issues.
He had
Like,
issues.
Yeah.
What is it, Neverland? Like
Neverland
yeah,
Ranch,
weird
yeah.
to
But
begin with.
that is weird. So when people can't admit that they're
At least
like
he was weird.
icons
Yeah.
are weird, even if you don't believe he touched them, which I don't know how you don't believe that. I don't know how, but whatever, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Still knowing the facts of Michael Jackson being like, yeah, I tuck them in and I give him some more milk and cookies. Like, there's literally an interview in my head. I know for a fact
strange.
Michael Jackson being like, yeah, I tuck them in, I give him some more milk. It's not his kids. It's not his kids. He's weird. It's
It's
very
almost-
What do you
weird.
think about the whole separate the artist from the art?
Sometimes I feel that way with Michael Jackson. I feel like it's and R. Kelly specifically. Those two, it's like that fucking sucks. However, like Remix to Ignition is so good, and like Thriller is so good. You know
That's
what I mean?
what's
Like
sad about
that's what's nuts about it. But you don't want to support those people.
Same with like
But
Woody
you have
Allen.
to,
Like,
you know?
do not want to watch
Woody
his
Allen,
films
yeah.
now. Like,
I loved Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like that's you
I
know
don't
what I
give a
mean.
fuck about any of Woody
Midnight
Allen.
in
I think Woody
Midnight
Allen
in
is very
Paris.
overrated, yeah.
Midnight in Paris is a great movie,
Hard
but
to
like
agree.
you know what I mean.
People disagree with us.
although then
He
people were
sucks.
like, oh, all his movies, he has like relationships with younger women in the movies, which is
Right,
that's weird.
they're creepy. I recently watched. I think it was Manhattan that I watched recently. And where he's dating like a 17-year-old. He's like literally dating a 17-year-old, and then he like is at the bar bragging about his new girlfriend and whatever, and she's so young. And I guess when you're watching it in real time. When I was younger, I always thought that 17 and 18, whatever, were so old. I was like, wow, those bitches are so old because they're out like living this life. I would see that movie. They're out living this life, dating this older man, whatever. It is not old at all. And it's crazy. And I think that's when you realize that something is wrong with that once you get to that age.
He's like
and you're
trying
like,
to
this is not
validate
right.
or like rationalize like
Yes.
his own behavior in like his movies.
Completely.
Yeah, he tries
and he's
to
like,
make
my
it
movies
normal.
are
It's in
right.
movies. It's a normal thing.
Exactly. My movies are so successful. I win awards all the time, blah, blah, blah. How could this be wrong? Like that's his mindset. And he's a disgusting piece of trash, but specifically Midnight in Paris. I love that movie with Owen Wilson. He's in
Oh, great movie.
Great
Yeah.
movie. Great
Never
movie.
seen it.
You would like it, I think. It's good. Well, doesn't matter though, because Woody Allen's trash.
Yeah, not watching
so
it.
I say
Woody
don't
Allen.
watch it now, but
Yeah, it's a hard question that I think, to be honest, everybody struggles with it.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles with it. They're like, great songs, shitty ass person. What do I do?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do I do? Do I listen to the songs?
And
or do I
you know
not?
how everyone
struggle that a lot
like
with
tries
Chris
to
Brown.
make it that like Drake is a weird guy for like having. You know,
Yes.
everyone says it about Drake.
Drake.
oh, because he
right,
has
right.
Michael Jackson's
Like-
rights, right?
No,
His
no,
music
no.
rights?
Like that he's like friends with Millie Bobby Brown
Yeah.
and like all. and,
always
like,
younger.
yeah,
like
yeah.
people try to say that Drake is like a weird guy. Like
Yeah.
Really? I guess I've heard that with Millie Bobby Brown.
I think we heard it more so a few years ago with Millie Bobby Brown, when Millie Bobby Brown would talk about how Drake and her like text and whatever,
And
and
she was,
people
like,
were like, she was
12.
really
Yeah, she was
young,
really
and people
young
were
then,
like,
yeah.
that's really weird, Drake. I think I'm gonna need more info on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for
need
sure.
more info before I start calling Drake a predator.
Although,
No, yeah.
do you-
Because I
do you
feel
guys
like
know-
Drake's a nice guy. Like that's like the vibe I get, and I don't. But still, it's one of those things that Drake should have the awareness. Like that's
every
not.
man
should be
with
texting.
power just wants to be with younger girls, and it's so creepy.
It is
Yeah.
creepy. Do you
Scott
guys
Disick.
know?
Yeah.
What's her face? That Drake owns Michael Jackson's music rights. Like, you know how Michael Jackson bought a bunch of the Beatles music rights and Paul McCartney's been like fighting to get them forever? Drake did the same thing, but to Michael Jackson's songs, which I think is interesting.
Interesting.
That is
so he's just
crazy.
making money off of Michael Jackson's
Yeah.
music.
Which, so now if I'm listening to Michael Jackson, I'm like, well, Drake's just getting a cut of this. So what's,
So fair enough.
That's all right, you know?
Michael Jackson's
Someone's gotta do
dead.
it.
So.
yeah.
Shouldn't his children have?
But
the
yeah,
rights
so
or
that seems
something?
weird.
That's weird,
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they want them. There's blurred lines with it. I actually almost picked up a Star magazine the other day. I saw it in the grocery store of Paris Jackson, like on the cover. Paris Jackson also was another one who I like her. I think she's cool, but she loves like the media. Like she
doesn't
didn't
she
at
blindly
first.
defend like him?
Always, or
Yeah.
she was at first. Now it's like she's like it's not all what you think. Like she's trying to make it seem a little bit better. And I get it. It's her dad. What are you gonna do? But yeah, she's a weirdo. She seems cool, but
I mean,
Didn't he
at the end of the day,
make
I'm
his
not going to
son
call Paris Jackson a
blanket?
weirdo because her dad is Michael Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. But they're all weirdos, is what I mean.
Right,
like the whole crew.
and also, like,
she's like the epitome of like raised in her. She will never know what it's like to be a normal kid. Like she'll never, or a normal person ever in her life.
No, never. But like the media and shit, they're always gonna want to know what Paris Jackson has to say. Her dad was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know.
But that? I mean, what is she? You know, what is she doing? What is she?
Her dad is Michael Jackson. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it
but he's been
like
dead for how many years now? Paris Jackson's only like 18, right?
Yeah,
she's 20.
It's just like the name Michael Jackson is always going to be like that.
Of course, but how many times are they going to ask her, was your dad a pedophile for the past 10 years? You know what I mean? I want to look up her age right now. I'm curious.
She's 23.
Okay, yeah, 23. He died in 2009, I think. Michael Jackson, 2010.
When I still lived in the city.
Yeah, I think it was 2009.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, why is she on the cover of Star Magazine having to defend her like pedophile father 10 years later?
But are you trusting Star Magazine?
No, I'm saying like, why are people still even? Why is she even still around?
The documentary brought everything back. I think,
but I'm also like,
but that was a couple years ago.
Is that even real though? Star Magazine, like they always make up shit that people say, and it's not real.
I'm not saying that Star Magazine's a reputable news source. I'm saying the fact that she's even on a cover of a tabloid magazine
she's gonna be an
with
American
some kind
Horror
of statement.
Story.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why she's doing
going to be
press
in the
then.
next season.
That makes sense.
Of what?
Then that's why
American Horror Story.
Then that's why
okay.
she's doing press then.
Right,
Because again, we haven't seen her in a while. But like, I'm thinking, why are they asking her about this shit again? There's not new Michael Jackson stuff. It's been out for 3 years now. That documentary, right?
Yeah.
So it just seems weird to suddenly drag her back into it.
A few days ago, this was a headline: Paris Jackson on her father Michael's parenting. We were lucky enough to be raised with solid morals. Morals.
Morals.
Yeah. Morale.
The
I actually don't know.
Blanket, right? Or am I making that up?
No, that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Swear
That child doesn't. He is never like out and about.
Debbie Rowe. That is Paris Jackson's mom.
Interesting.
So the kids are fully white?
Pretty much. They look. I mean,
how does that happen? Because he's black.
No one knows.
It is.
Everything about it is weird.
That is a confusing.
Everything about that
I've never
situation
even
is
thought
strange.
about that. Well, the mom's fully white, blonde hair.
Yeah, but he is fully a black man.
Yeah, he is. That is.
So that doesn't make any sense. He's not their real dad, and I am putting that on my
It's crazy.
I think
the entire thing is nuts. And I mean, you know, Paris Jackson seems cool. I wish that she could just like have her own life, you know, and not be tied to this because she's so young.
Interesting.
Macaulay Culkin's her godfather. You know that?
Yes.
Isn't that creepier? Because aren't there allegations that Michael Jackson molested him?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's still like very like adamant that wasn't sexual.
So that
Macaulay Culkin.
Very deeply.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, the thing is, once again, like, it's weird, right? It's definitely weird. But do we know for sure that he touched him?
There's like,
I don't know.
I think the thing was like
don't know
Michael
anything.
Jackson was a child star. He was a child star. They had that in common. And like Michael Jackson was like never really grew up. Like he was always like.
It does
the
seem
vibe
like Michael Jackson never really grew up.
That's what I wanted to say before, and I completely
had
lost my
puberty.
train of
Like
thought.
he didn't have the chance
He's got
to
like
grow up.
he's
He didn't
like
have
very
a childhood.
Yeah, he's very juvenile and like even the stuff
way
like even
he
the ranch, even the way he talks, the like Neverland Ranch, like it was all games and like rides and kids shit. You know what I mean?
And wasn't Michael Jackson molested as a kid?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
I feel like I
pretty sure he
feel like I
was.
heard about that too.
I'm pretty sure.
So if he was molested as a kid, though, that validates that he probably was molesting other people because in like 85% of cases,
Yeah, it goes-
when you are touched, you touch.
I don't know.
goes down.
Yeah, I don't know if he was definitely molested as a kid, but I feel like there was some shit that maybe with his own dad, Joe Jackson.
I don't know about that.
I feel
that
like
I
I've
feel like
heard
I
that, though.
That I don't know if I've heard. I've heard about him being molested. I don't think I heard that.
No,
his
I don't
dad-
think like his dad molested him, but wasn't there?
I don't know because he had so many siblings.
No, his dad like beat them
Yeah,
or
wasn't Joe
something.
Jackson like he like
They were bad parents.
like he abused them
Yeah.
or something? I don't know.
Well,
for
it's like
sure.
he
That's
was
a
always
legend.
working, and like his dad
think
was
it
like,
was-
you have to
Here's
like.
a
Yeah.
page 6 article.
I think it was physical abuse and not sexual.
It said, did both of Joe's elder daughters, Rebby and Latoya, accused him of sexual abuse. So
Wow.
they accused Joe Jackson of sexual abuse.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So then, yeah, Michael Jackson's fucked.
Yeah, this is all, alleged. We have to say that.
Yeah, of course.
For,
Still,
whatever. But
everybody.
still.
You
This whole
accuse your
thing.
father of anything like that.
The Predators conversation, I'll tell you, this is like a.
It could go on
I'm
for
like,
hours.
Go on
There's
for
so many
hours,
Predators.
and I'm also I'm getting like upset by it. Like
Me
I'm
too.
like everything
Same.
about
the
this is like
conversation's getting down. We
Yeah.
gotta jump into puberty.
We gotta jump into
We gotta
puberty.
jump into the next topic.
we gotta get out of it.
Gotta
Shout
jump
out
into
to
the-
shout out
Predators
to all
really shut my
who
mood
have
down.
dealt with predators before. That
Yeah.
fucking sucks. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for anybody that you know that's dealt with that. It fucking blows. I wish I had answers. I don't.
Definitely.
No.
All right, guys, let's lighten the mood up a little bit. Let's talk about how we're eating. I know that we're always talking about food. We're always talking about hydration. We're always talking about that good. I want to tell you guys that HelloFresh has truly, truly saved my life. I was in a little bit of a rut. I was like not really making food for myself. I was just kind of ordering food all the time, eating like trash, just not good for me at all. I fell
wasting money too.
Wasting so much money. I fell into a little bit of HelloFresh and my life has changed perpetually. I am so excited to have this on my docket now. I get, I get like 3 meals every single time. That's usually my little set. HelloFresh arriving right at your door is probably the easiest thing ever. I've always said before that I hate going to the grocery store. I hate all that bullshit. But thankfully, HelloFresh is here to help us. If you go to HelloFresh.com and use, HelloFresh.com/because12 and use code because12, you will get 12 free meals, including free shipping,
That's
which is
a lot.
insane. That's an insane amount of meals. That's like a month's worth of food, honestly.
Yeah.
3 every single week. 4 weeks, whatever.
And they're so good. They
They're
really
so
are
delicious.
good.
I had one the other day that was like, it was like chicken with this like pistachio rice and some asparagus. Like
I had
don't
like a
even
cheddar
know.
bacon burger
So good,
once.
yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
And they're all really easy, especially for somebody like me who I get home and I'm kind of tired and I get lazy. And normally I would just go order something, spend, $40 on some ridiculous meal. I don't even like that much. When I can spend 20 minutes making myself a delicious, healthy meal for myself with a little bit of leftovers for me, for lunch the next day. It's perfect. HelloFresh.
And all the steps, like it's easy.
All the
If you
steps are
can't
listed
cook, you
out.
can do it.
All the steps are listed out. Everything is fine. All you need is like some cookware or whatever, but basic stuff, like you just need like a skillet, you just need a pot, whatever. Everything that you have in your house, everything is so easy. I highly suggest HelloFresh. I'm dead serious when I say that. Go to HelloFresh.com/because12 and use code because12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping.
Big Mouth is canceled.
What the fuck?
I actually have never been more upset about something in my life.
When did you find this out?
It's everywhere. It's canceled for...
Today? How did I not see this?
Well, first off, it was under a lot of heat because the girl that played...
April 19th, 2021. No, Big Mouth is not canceled and has officially been renewed for season 2.
awesome!
I was going to say.
What the fuck, Brie?
Holy
What
shit,
is that,
Brie.
like yesterday?
April 19th. This was like a few days ago.
Okay, yeah, because it was canceled. Everyone was saying it was canceled.
What the hell? I was going to say, because I heard they renewed it before John Mulaney went to rehab, which is why I was like, oh, and I knew that it was going to be delayed because John Mulaney's still in rehab. But
Well, so much shit was coming out about it. Like all the fucking people that are just offended by everything was like, this is so weird that they're showing children like this.
I think Big Mouth is the smartest show I've ever seen in my life.
And
Like it
so
is
fucking
hysterical. It is so funny. It is so smart. Like I
Nobody's
understand.
looking at it in a
That's what I'm
predator
saying. I
way,
guess how
though.
people would see it's like a weird thing, but it's again,
But like
it's
you're
cartoons.
a predator if you think like that. It's like no one's thinking like that.
I don't
besides
disagree with you
the
on that. I think that it's so clever. I also don't think it's like for kids. Like you shouldn't no. Kids should not be watching it. But also it's not like, inciting sexual thoughts about kids. I don't think. Like it's just seeing the awkward, horrible parts of like puberty and growing up. Like how if that's turning you on? Like
Then you're
what the fuck?
fucking
Like you're turned
weird.
on by
Then
puberty?
that's an
Like that's
issue.
literally so fucking strange.
But it was a lot
wow.
of people were
That just really
pissed.
scared me.
What is the black girl's name in the show? Misty?
Misty, yeah.
Misty. It was under a lot of heat because a white woman
Oh yeah,
voiced her.
that's Jennifer. What's her face?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they changed it.
Yeah, no. And then
Yeah.
that happened and then everyone was freaking out that it was like creepy that they were showing kids and that's why there was the whole thing that it was canceled.
That's
But
oh
it's
my
not,
God,
and that's
no,
really
no,
actually
no.
just made my day.
Jenny Slate. Jenny Slate. Wait, they changed Jenny Slate out? Jenny Slate's no longer Missy?
I think she stepped down. She was like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh,
gonna
she
do
might
this
have. That
anymore.
makes sense. She's
Yeah.
like that. She would do that. Interesting. Wow. I had no idea that they did that. But now I'm excited because I fucking love Big Mouth. Big Mouth is so smart. I love John Mulaney. We all know this.
Oh my gosh, shut
I was
the
like, I
fuck
brought
up.
this for us. I got it on Amazon. I have in my hands the Care and Keeping of You, book 1, the body book for younger girls. There are 2 books. There's another one called the Care and Keeping of You, body book for older girls, too. And there's also a book about feelings. I believe I had all 3 growing up, but
These
I just got
books
this
were
one.
so crazy to me.
I bought this one to read you guys some parts of it. Because for those who don't know this book, it's also been updated. If you look at the really old one, it's pretty problematic on the front. It's a little racist. So this is good. I'm glad they've updated it. But this whole book, it goes through and lists all of the things. Here, letter to you. I'll read it. When you were little, your parents took care of you. Now that you're older, you're taking over a lot of that responsibility, and it's not always easy to know what to do or how to ask for help. It's a struggle for any girl to ask questions when she's dying of embarrassment and digging for the right words to use. So what can you do? For starters, you need to get information. The more you know about your body, the less confusing and embarrassing growing up will seem, and the easier it will be to talk about. We hope the head-to-toe advice in this book will give you the words to start a conversation with your parents or other adults you trust. Your parents were there for you when you were little, and they can still be there for you now. If you speak up, no matter how awkward you feel, your confidence and spirit will grow right along with your body. Your friends at American Girl. Now, I didn't realize this was an American Girl situation.
I didn't either. I never knew that.
Somebody wrote in the thing, I can't remember if we're going to play the voicemail or not, but she got like a bootleg version of this, and her friends would like make fun of her. She was like, oh, you don't have like the right book, so you don't know the same shit that we know. And it's just like, it talks about bras, talks about underarms.
And it blew my
mind. Yeah, the nipples. We were talking about this
the
last
nipple
night.
page was my favorite
Yeah,
when I was
me
a
too.
kid.
The
I'd
nipple
always
page. I thought
go
it
to
was
it.
so
I'd be like,
cool.
I'll find it.
I'm
These
seeing
nipples,
boobs. Yeah.
Where's the nipple page? I'm getting there.
Kids are so creepy.
Kids are so weird.
creepy,
But it's like
curious.
Yeah,
you
curious.
read this.
Curious.
Here's the nipples. Here's the nipples.
Yes.
There you go.
Stages of development is what it is under breasts. But
was like, damn,
it
when's
says
it
like
gonna happen to me?
it says like time to grow. How long does it take? There's no way to know how long each stage will take or last. It's just a whole thing. And it shows you a little bit about like, you know, your armpits, underarm hair, protect your skin, wash your face. It tells you a lot of shit like don't be the smelly kid. Talks about tampons and pads a little bit. But my personal favorite is at the beginning when they start talking about, I gotta find it. Here it is. They start talking about like hanging out with your friends, the basic facts, okay? Changes ahead, get informed, pay attention, keep clean, exercise. But there's one that says just don't. And it's a picture of this girl, and she's saying like, no, 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 to a beer and a cigarette. Okay, down here. Mm-hmm. And it says, just don't. No girl can look and feel her best with cigarette smoke, alcohol, or drugs in her body. Though drinking and smoking may seem grown up, the truth is they're bad for your health, and drugs can destroy your family and future. A smart girl turns her back and walks away from so-called friends who put pressure on her to just try it.
Loser.
Seems weird, right? That seems like a little judgy, in my opinion. I was like, why are you so judgmental?
Definitely.
Like, maybe
Drugs
if you're
and alcohol will rip your family to
right.
shreds.
Even at this young age, however age you're supposed to be reading this book, I even at a young age, I don't think I need somebody being like, this is bad, you'll ruin your family and your future. That's like a lot of pressure. That's the kind of shit that I read as a child,
then you feel
and then hid it from my parents
for
my whole life.
wanting to try it.
Yes. You feel bad for being curious. Not even like wanting to try it, just being curious. Like that to me makes it seem like I can't even ask my mom and dad. Like it's so bad that it's going to ruin my family and my future. I can't even talk to my mom about it.
Right.
That's
but
the message it sends me.
I wonder if you as a kid have the awareness to be like, nah, that's not right. Because I feel like when I was a kid and we would in school, they'd be like, don't do drugs, don't drink, whatever. I always had the awareness that I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna. Like, I'm definitely gonna try that when I get older.
I did not, but I think that I blame that on like not having older siblings.
Well,
Like,
I think that's it. I had two older siblings,
Yeah.
and my parents smoked, they drank, they did all that shit in front of me. So
Yeah.
it never seemed like a thing where I was like, whoa, I have to like
Same.
hide that from them or
Drinking
like
always
can't
was a
do
thing,
it.
but, yeah.
So I think
You know what they really scared us in health class about? Inhalants. That scared the shit out of
Oh,
me.
yeah?
I was like,
Oh,
I'm never
yeah.
going to do that because they're like, you could die instantly.
Yeah.
Of what?
Yeah.
Inhalants.
Like huffing.
Like
huffing,
smelling like paint in a
Like-
paper bag.
like,
or like
Whippets.
that type of
Whippets
shit.
with
Whippets,
like
yeah.
whipped cream. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
But I
No,
really
it's
wanted to.
horrifying.
I'm like, I'm sure it feels so good.
No, I went
always
home,
wanted to do
me
a
and my
Whippet.
friend went home and I had whipped cream in my fridge and we were
Yeah.
like, should we do it? Should we do it? But we were like, we're going to fucking die. We
I
can't
did
do
a whip it once in college. It wasn't
I've
that
never
great.
tried one.
My cousin got in
It
trouble
lasted for like 2
going
seconds.
to-
People
it
I
wasn't that
actually knew in college died of whippets.
Really?
Really?
At Ohio University.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Shit, my cousin got in trouble in a grocery store once for doing whippets with his friends. Damn. The grocery store like called my aunt.
There's a girl in my high school. Who was doing whippets in her car and she died. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like actually really,
Yeah.
I guess
You can
health
die-
class
you can
is right.
No,
She
it's
died
like
in her
really
car.
dangerous.
Yeah.
She died in her car outside of like
Look at me,
I'm
just-
sorry, I'm being really insensitive about this girl that died. But
Yeah.
she was like in my high school.
I
Everybody
mean,
was really
what
heartbroken.
the fuck are you doing if you're just doing
It was
whippets
crazy.
in your car?
No, she
all
was
the
doing
time?
them. I guess she was like picking up her mom from work or
Is
something and
that
was waiting in the
is that
car.
addictive?
I think so.
I think like each time you do it, you have to get like more. Like it's
Yeah.
like that type of thing.
So,
Yeah.
your tolerance builds up and up.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen someone do a whippet? They like, it's like a whole, they're shaking the thing, they're huffing it, they're shaking it again, they're huffing it again. Like
like
it seems it's like a roller coaster where
It's
you go all the way
really-
up and then, until you can't go up any higher.
And
like
then what do you feel? Like, are you just-
disconcerting thing to see.
Or are you?
You feel like, have you ever done poppers?
No.
It's
Some girl
I would say
offered
it's
me
similar
that
to that
the other weekend. I was like,
Poppers are fine, but they'll fry
I don't
your
know what
brain
it
a little
is,
bit.
so it kind of freaked
You
me
just
out.
smell it and it makes your face hot and it makes you be like, whoa, for a second, and then it goes away, like almost right away.
That's crazy.
Is it
But
like
poppers are
smelling
like-
salt?
I said no, and she was like, "Oh, yeah."
No,
we're
it's not. It
different.
doesn't smell.
It's
No, it's not like
okay,
smelling
sorry.
salt. But you do smell it, but it's not like smelling salt.
Smelling salts are fun. just because it's funny.
Smelling salts I don't really like. I prefer poppers.
I've never done a smelling salt.
All my hockey friends have them, so they always like
guys love to be like, smelling
yeah.
salts.
Part of my take before the podcast, you're like, smelling salts.
Yeah,
did those fuck your brain up?
It's weird. Probably, honestly.
Yeah,
I feel like you're
I
not
think it
supposed
fucks
to.
your nose up.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
your nose
burns
hairs.
like a bitch.
Burns your nose hairs. But yeah, I don't know. So this book is the book that is like the most popular book to give to your kids when talking about puberty.
Memories.
And do you guys have? I don't, in my head, remember having a single conversation with either of my parents about
in my
puberty.
life about sex, about
No.
anything. I've
Sex
never had a
either. No,
conversation.
nothing.
Still have never had a
I'm
conversation.
sure my mom will like hear this and she'll be pissed off and be like, "We talked to you," but I know for a fact we did not talk
We
about
never.
it. We
the
never
only conversation
did.
I ever had was me being a creep on the computer and
Yes.
saying, "Don't do that."
Yes, and getting yelled at for looking
and
at
then
porn.
never
Yes.
talked about anything again.
I never had the sex talk, but I remember in school when they show you that video, I think it's like either 5th or 6th grade, and you watch the whole like puberty video. And then I went home and my mom was like, well, what did you learn? And I told her, and the one thing that stood out to me, don't know why, was how to shave your armpits.
Yeah.
They said to shave it like a star. I don't do that to this day, but like in the
didn't
video,
know
they were
that.
like,
Oh, I
and
do
was
a
like
little bit,
asking,
actually, now I think about
I was
it.
asking my mom that. She was like,
think I just go
what?
up.
And she was just like asking me questions about my body, being like, do you like have any hair down there yet? And I was like, Mom, like what?
yeah, like,
Ew,
how dare
don't
you
ask me that
ask?
question,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah.
freak.
Yeah, yeah.
Not telling you that. It was just just like uncomfortable. But I don't.
course.
I think that was like
Ever
I
be comfortable
remember.
for anyone.
Yeah.
I remember that specific conversation, but never like the sex talk. That never
I never
that
had
never
anything.
happened.
I never even had that book, but my cousins did, and I always looked at the nipple page.
Do you feel like it's? I didn't have this book either. My
Yeah.
my best friend did down the
Yeah.
block, and I remember being the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
let me see the nipples. But do you feel like it's irresponsible for parents to not have the sex talk, or do you feel like it's okay? Because we all just said that none of our parents had the
we're
sex
fine.
talk.
I would
with
have
us and
liked
we're
to.
fine.
I necessarily didn't need the sex talk or the puberty talk. I would have liked to have felt more comfortable to
Me
talk about
too.
those things with my parents. And I don't necessarily think that's my parents' fault. I think that they are also extremely awkward, and they grew up in like, Irish Catholic household. Nobody talks about sex. Nobody talks about like your body. Nobody
Yeah.
talks about shit. And I am so open now, like with my friends and with whatever, and I feel so much better now. But growing up, it was like living in this like prison inside my body where I was like, I can't talk about anything that's going on because I don't feel
couldn't
comfortable.
even, like, talk
I don't know if
about
I'm going to get in trouble or not for
boys
talking about
with
this.
my
Like I could
mom
never
or
tell.
anything. Like, I
never.
never.
My
I
mom-
still
still to this
don't.
day we don't. No,
Yeah,
we're not
ever.
close like that because I just am too.
Never talked about it.
I'm too afraid of the reaction. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like I won't be judged for whatever I'm about to say. Like I never have felt that way at my house. Like I just never. And again, I don't necessarily think that's my parents' fault because I think that they grew up the same way.
Same.
But that's just no. I've never felt comfortable talking about stuff like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't
just
necessarily
started
feel
feeling
uncomfortable talking about it with my parents at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel uncomfortable at all. We just never had the talk, but I do remember moments of time of when I first got a boyfriend and whatever, and like my parents making comments and being like, just don't get pregnant. And then I remember being in the car and my mom made a comment like that. And my dad was like, listen, if you get pregnant, I'll still love you, but I'm not going to like you. And I was like,
my
okay,
God.
fair
Oh my
enough.
God.
So they know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
But even that's kind of lighthearted at least.
right,
where
right.
it's like
No, very,
a
very
little
lighthearted.
silly.
My
Yeah.
my parents are, I'll give them credit. They are so, I think, cool in the way of like just understanding growing up and
sure.
getting older, and like that's what you do. Like my dad has had to have conversations with his best friends about their daughters and be like, lighten up. Like they're very good with that. They've always just like let us do our thing, and
Yeah.
we feel comfortable telling them
Yeah.
things. But seeing the way that their friends like treat their kids or whatever, I'm always like, whoa. Like I get it when you guys are talking about it, I'm like, that's crazy, but it does
Yeah.
happen. Like a lot of parents are not
Yeah.
really that
My parents
comfortable.
were never like that. But my
Yeah.
aunt is my neighbor, which is also, they're like my sisters. And she was always super open about everything. Like she would always
That's
say,
nice.
if you got pregnant, I'll call me. I'll drive you to the clinic. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Thanks.
So it was drilled in my
Thanks,
head
Aunt.
that if I was ever pregnant in high school, I need an abortion first
Damn.
of all. But I was like, thanks. Like she always was
Yeah,
open.
no.
So
Having
was
that one
better.
person that you can go to is,
Yeah.
I think, important. Do you guys remember like getting your period for the first
I was
time?
just gonna say, actually,
Yeah, it
no.
was
The
a
first
fucking
time I don't remember, which is
monsoon.
weird to me right now, and I don't know why I can't remember it at all. But I,
I don't
do
remember my
remember.
first
No, the
specific
very
time
first
either.
one I don't remember it at all. But I do remember being so afraid to ask to put tampons on a grocery list, like my whole life, like literally my whole life. Like once I got to a certain age,
comfortable asking my mom for tampons like last year.
I don't even do that. Like I still to this day, once I got until I got my license, I would like throw it on the grocery list, like, you know, just really small writing, like tampons. Meanwhile, my mom doesn't like need tampons. It's her whole thing. But, so it's only me that would ever need them. So I put them on the list always. So afraid. The minute I was able to drive myself, I was out buying my own. Like I was never wanting to have a conversation about it. Like I don't think I've ever talked about my period in my house once. Like never.
Me either.
Not even
Ever.
my mom. Like not even
once.
my mom. We just don't
My
talk
mom
about it.
didn't even teach me how
opposite
to use a tampon or like I was not taught how to do
not
anything.
to use a tampon. No, my mom was just like she like told me that
My aunt
told
taught me
about them. Yeah, she's like told me. Also, my mom at the time had the like older tampons with the cardboard. So I was like, that was my first
My mom
time
had the
ever.
ones with nothing, just like the fucking
Just the plain
the plugs.
Stick it in there.
Yeah.
That's why. That's hard. But the cardboard was so painful. My mom, I remember telling me like wear pads at first, whatever, and I was like, this is not my jam. Like I think I might be wear pad for one day. I was like, no, this is not how it's gonna do. Like I will deal with a tampon immediately. And then the cardboard thing, I remember it being so painful and me being like, what the fuck? This has to be that way. And I remember complaining about it to a friend of mine, being like, yeah, but tampons like kind of hurt. And they're like, not really. What do you mean? And they showed me theirs. I was like, wait, that's a way newer, way more advanced tampon. Like what am I doing here? Yeah. And then I had to explain. I maybe I didn't even explain it, but I might have gotten the name of the brand, and then next time I like hit it on the grocery list, I typed it out exactly what it was, like Tampax Pearl, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you needed to level
plastic
up.
applicator. Like I had to write the whole thing,
level up,
because I'm like, no, I can't live this life.
Yeah, I remember the first time I got my period and the first time I wore a tampon, because I wore pads I got my period in 7th grade, and I wore pads from 7th grade to 9th grade, and then in new school, these boys invited us to one of this kid's house, and he had a hot tub, and he was like, we're gonna go in the hot tub, and I had my period, and I was like, that's it, it's tampon time, baby. And I told my mom and my sister, and they were like, let's do it. And we just we did it. And I think having an older sister probably made me feel more comfortable, because I don't feel uncomfortable talking about any of those things in my house. Like when I was younger and I needed tampons, and say my dad was out with my mom's really bad at looking at her phone, like I'd literally text my dad and be like, can you tell mom to get me tampons?
Yeah.
And that's just like, it's not weird.
Yeah,
that's just
that's so nice though. I get jealous of people with sisters for that reason, because I feel like all that kind of stuff probably was so much easier. Like if you
I'm
had a
like
sister.
my mom's only daughter,
Yeah.
so like she was like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Having an older sister helps.
Yeah,
definitely.
I get jealous of that, but it's such a funny thing how everybody has a different way to look at it. Like some houses, and I would go to friends' houses who were really open with their parents, and I always was like in shock. Like one of my best friends is super open with her family, and she'd be like yelling through the house, be like, "Oh, are you going to the store? Like, get me tampons, whatever." And I'd be like, "Oh, tampon!" Like, whisper. What are you saying? Like, it's not that I was ashamed. I guess it was just more of like we don't
like
talk
taboo.
about that.
It was
like we don't talk about those things. Like no. Like that's just not anything you talk about, which is so fucked up. Like why is it like that?
I don't want to be like
I feel like
with my kids at all.
I've even gotten more comfortable here, like in the office, when you need a tampon, and it's like now I'm straight up just like I used to like slip it in like my pocket.
I still slide it in my pocket.
Nobody
I'm
would
still
be able
like
to
that.
see, and now I'm just like, all right, it's in my hand. I'm walking to the bathroom. Like, I got my fucking period.
Yeah, it's more embarrassing to someone catch you sliding it in than to just be holding it.
Just be holding it.
But like
Nobody's
I'll
looking
still
in your
slide
hand.
it in, because that's just how I'll always be.
No, I'll always be like that. There's never a time where I'm going to walk freely with a tampon in my hand.
Like
There's just no way.
sometimes I like make my boyfriend buy tampons for me, because I'm like, I don't really want
Oh my God, never once.
I
never
never buy, like I have someone else do it for me, because I don't like.
What?
Yeah,
I will buy my. I'm so much like I'll buy my own. I think one time a boyfriend of mine bought me tampons because I was like sick. I was like also sick. I couldn't get. I don't know what was wrong with me, and I was like, please. And I remember being like, I have to ask you to buy something, and I'm so embarrassed to ask you, but I need them, whatever. Like I had to preface the whole conversation with like, just so you know, I would never fucking ask this because it's crazy. And then he was like, I don't care. Yeah, add it to the list. Like, who gives a fuck? Guys never care as much as you think they do. And it's just, that's another thing. It's, the way you grow up.
I'd rather my boyfriend buy them for me than my mom when I was in high school. Like, that's how awkward it was.
Yes, I get that.
It's crazy.
That's
literally
really
get that.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You've got some
Never
issues.
talked about
It's
it.
just
ever.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's just crazy,
That's
it's
so
crazy how
weird.
like the disconnect, why that happens.
But-
And I don't know why that is. It's, again, my parents were very nice to me. They always probably are like wanting me to talk to them, but I just
Same.
never
But
do.
I think
never
they
do
were
and I never
both
did.
as uncomfortably awkward and weird about it as I was.
Yeah,
Same with you. So it was like, let's not talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys remember, because since we're on the topic of puberty, do you remember first like spotting a hair on your vagina? Like looking at the hair in your vagina
not
and
really.
being like,
I don't remember.
oh shit.
No.
You guys don't remember anything about going through puberty?
I really
you
don't.
don't remember when you got your period.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's because it was so uncomfortable. I don't remember any of these things. Like I don't remember my first period. I don't remember
my first time either.
I don't even have a memory of like maybe getting like period in my pants at any point. You know, like that always happens to somebody. Like I had no.
I used to bleed everywhere.
I knew that everywhere for sure, but never like
a
in
motherfucker
public.
all over the place. Like I was getting murdered in public because
on my seat in high school, I bled. Oh my god!
Through my skirt.
God.
No one like saw it. Like
uniform.
the teachers definitely knew because I got up and walked away.
Yeah.
But like, oh my god, I thought about it for the rest of my life.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
no. See, like I don't have any, but maybe I do, and they're repressed. I have no idea. But no, I have memories of bleeding through my pants like a couple other times, but I was always like already at home or already somewhere where it was okay, and it like wasn't so embarrassing. I think.
Oh no, I've had
Birth control
many
saved me.
occasions. Same. I used to have.
I was a
the
monster.
I would wake up.
Same, honestly.
I would wake up in my sheets covered in blood, like
Yeah.
A
like
super
a murder.
duper plus wouldn't work for 30 minutes. For
murder
me.
scene, awful. But then birth control definitely.
Birth control really saved.
Definitely
It does help.
helped. I
It
started
does help.
birth control when I was like 15.
My friend. We were like changing to go like swimming, and we were like super young. I think it was like 5th or 6th grade, and I was like completely hairless, and she had like a bush, and I was like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, like what's that?
She was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know what just happened this year, and I was like, that's crazy. What the fuck? Like I was like,
how'd you get that? Like what's that shit?
Where'd you get that?
I feel like it just pops up because I
does.
remember like one day just seeing a bush. Like I do not remember like slow growth.
I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing it. It was like one day it was nothing. Next day it was like everywhere.
Next day it was something.
Everybody's got a bush.
Do you guys remember noticing when your friends were getting boobs?
Yes, because I wasn't. So it was very much like I am not getting boobs and my friends are getting boobs. What the fuck? Also, my bad influence friend that I referenced earlier, she got her period really early and got boobs really early, and we were best friends. And she had like titties and
my
the
friend
whole
got her period in
shit.
2nd grade.
Yo, what
Is that not fucked up? And then she started
Second
having like
grade?
sex in like 7th grade, like 6th grade, because she was like a fucking woman by that time. And I think about it all the time. I'm like, that's kind of sad. And she was like a closet
your
whore.
Period in second grade.
That is so young.
And she was a full, by like 5th grade, looked like she could be a freshman in high school. Like
That's
full tits,
insane.
fully developed pimples.
Those are the girls that get stuck with fucking predators who are always like, you look older than you are, or whatever. Do you guys think there's any truth to the rumor that like chicken? I'm trying to think how to describe this. Like the hormones that they put in chicken and in milk now, like within our lifetimes, affect women like maturing faster. People say that. People say like the hormones that they put in chicken like kickstarts hormones for women earlier, so that girls are getting their period when they're in the 2nd grade. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. How it's like not so uncommon for like these 8-year-olds to be having their period. That's like a rumor that people say.
I mean, yeah, because how else does it happen?
I don't know, but like it never used to happen, and now it's a thing that happens all the time.
So I don't know how spot on that is because I did eat a lot of chicken growing up, and I didn't get my period till 7th grade.
And I drank a ton of whole milk.
I will say though, when we were younger, my neighbor, I think I told this story, my neighbor had big boobs and
all that in a glass of milk.
Yeah, no, it was like, and so, I think my sister said to my neighbor something like, "What do you feed those things?" Or someone said, "What do you feed those things?" And my brother says, "Milk and cookies." And to this day, it's something we still joke about. But it was always a joke that like milk equal titties.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Like, you drink milk, you get boobs, and I don't know if that's the case.
Us growing up though, like we had that milk, we had that chicken, but it's the people that are growing up now that like they've added hormones and things to it since we were kids. Like shit's different now.
Yeah,
so
it's
now,
all genetically modified.
Yes,
and
so
shit.
now all the kids are coming out, like 2nd graders now have their period.
Oh.
And so they're saying because of all the hormones that have been injected into like us, and then we have these kids, and then the kids are drinking the milk and having to think that's it's like a
I could
conspiracy.
see that totally being real though.
Yeah, people. There's like an article that comes out about it every quarter or so about how
crazy.
like hormones in your food are like increasing your metabolism or decreasing your metabolism. Like it's always fucking up your body, the hormones and whatever. But that's always a thing that people said was like hormones in chicken and milk specifically make you go into puberty faster. I don't know how true that is.
I feel like there's so many rumors when you're growing up on how to make your boobs bigger, or like if you do this, your boobs will be bigger. If you eat this,
exercising.
Yes, but
thing.
it's literally just it's genetics. Your boobs are going to be whatever. There's nothing to change it. There's like creams for your boobs.
There's
and
nothing
like
you can do.
Nothing
you can eat.
works.
It's like the size they are, babe, are the size they are.
That's
and I
what
wish
they're
I
gonna
could have
be.
just accepted that.
Yeah,
I know, me
deal
too.
with it.
I wish I was cooler about my boobs sooner. Like now, I mean, I'm not so cool about my boobs right now, but it's kind of
I'm
a
like
point
chill
where it's
about
like
my
whatever.
boobs, but I still
you know?
want a boob job. Actually, really might be getting one soon.
I feel like if a boob job was less painful in the recovery, a friend of mine
Yep,
has a boob
I
job, and
watched
she
a
said it
bunch
was
of
like
YouTube videos,
she said
and
it
I was
was
like,
horribly painful. She said that she's happy she has it, but she wouldn't do it. Like she would never do it again. Like she was
Yeah.
like it was a nightmare.
Pain.
So I'm like, all right, well, what are you gonna do about that? But I feel like yeah, I don't know.
I feel like without a doubt, girls have a harder time going through puberty. Obviously, like you start bleeding from your vagina. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. That is
nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Guys, it's like, oh, their balls drop. Is that even a real thing, or is that just a phrase?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, do your balls actually drop?
Like, what
Who
the hell is
knows?
that?
That's just a phrase.
I was like, I gotta step in here.
like,
That's
what?
So I
I
was
feel
like,
like that's just for dogs. Like
yeah,
the balls
like wait,
drop.
I don't even think that's like your balls are always there. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
they're
They always
in
say
you.
like, "Oh, his balls haven't dropped yet."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
always a
it's just a
phrase.
saying.
Yeah, I think it's just a saying. But
Balls drop.
guys, like their voice cracks a little bit, and that's it. They're not.
No, you
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
I remember our health teacher was like, if you get like, I don't know how she phrased it. She didn't say boner, but like if you get a like, don't be
an
like,
erection problem.
Yeah, an erection. She's like, don't be embarrassed about it. Like, and I think they told us
Oh my
like tuck
God.
it into your waistband. Like, I think
They told you to do that?
I feel like they did.
That's
Or
amazing.
I don't know. I feel like the health teacher did, but someone told me to do it.
You learn somehow.
That's amazing. You know what I'll say about Big Mouth? Big Mouth has made me more sympathetic to guys going through puberty because
Yeah. I guess dicks are
jacked up.
hard
Because
to
dicks
deal with.
Dicks are hard to deal with. Well, I was laughing because the guy who plays, who voices John Mulaney voices the one guy, and he is just like horny all the time, and it's like, and he
Nick
can't control
or
it.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Andrew's so
he's horny
horny.
all the time,
At his
and so he'll be
grandpa's
walking
funeral.
around, and he'll be like, I just want to like read my book, and then the hormone monster will come through and be like, no, you want to fuck the shit out of that picture of your aunt, like, and it's just
Yeah.
crazy.
You want to fuck your cousin at
Yes.
your grandfather's funeral? Go jack off with the grandfather in the room.
Yes.
And he's like,
and it
I
cracks
have
me
to.
up, and he's like, I don't wanna, and it just cracks me the fuck
And
up.
he's like crying. While
Yes,
he's
and I'm
doing
like,
it.
that's so fucking funny because like I guess I could see that. Like sometimes if you're so overtaken by your hormones and your thoughts, it's like, yeah, you can't control yourself and you're a little kid, you don't know
Especially
what to
if you're
do.
just, like-
You can't talk to your parents, it's too awkward.
we
like
don't
what do you
get
do?
boners. Like we could hide that
True,
we're like
yeah,
trying
true.
to fuck.
Right.
Like they just.
I
get
guess
full
that
on.
is really hard. Like
Boners
we
would
do.
be so
I
embarrassing.
guess that, you know what? That's pretty even. We bleed, and they get these uncontrollable
Yeah, and,
boners.
like we're
Yeah.
like,
But
that's,
ours
like,
never
pretty
goes away.
visible. Like if you're like, especially
Super
if you're
obvious,
young,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's
Right.
embarrassing.
Oh my god, there was
Yeah.
this kid, it's so fucked up. There was this kid in our I want to say maybe 7th grade chorus class. One boy in our class, won't say his, I was about to say his full name, I won't say it. He would always get boners in class, always. So we'd be standing on risers, singing like songs, chorus songs, and it was all girls and him. And this one girl that I was friends with would always kind of like flirt with him. It was mean as fuck. She shouldn't have done that, but she was doing it, whatever. And he would get a boner every fucking time, and we'd always have to like stand up and sing, and he'd just be like standing up singing, full ass boner, like the biggest boner I've ever seen. To this day, probably the biggest boner I've ever seen.
What?
I was in like the 7th grade. Yeah,
I never
Fucking
noticed
crazy.
any
Sixth
kids'
grade?
boners.
No.
If I said the name, you guys would be like, well, obviously he's doing that because it's just a crazy name, but I can't because someone will tell him.
Like
But
boner McBoner.
sixth grade, my friend, like we were best friends. We're still friends. She every fucking day she would get up and she always wore yoga pants because it was like the cool thing to
Of
do.
course,
obviously.
yeah. Solos
He-
are hardtails.
She sat in front of him. And he sat in the last row of the class, would jack off every fucking time that she would get up and walk. And everyone caught him. Like he got called down to the office all the time for jacking off.
Holy
and they were
shit.
just like, slap on the wrist, no more jacking off. Like you got
I
to
feel
stop
like you get
doing that.
expelled for that.
100%.
sure.
Wait, jacking off like dick out of his
Like,
pants?
no,
or like,
like
inside
rubbing-
of his
like
pants?
rubbing-
And in pants, jacking off as hard as he can.
That's crazy.
Ew.
And what grade is this?
And he sixth, and he
Holy shit.
That
he
freaks
never lived
me
that down. Like throughout
out.
high school.
I mean, of course you could
You-
never. You're not the guy. You can't be the
you
guy
were
who
always
jerks off.
the jerker offer.
Of
Yeah.
course you are. Of
Yeah.
course you are.
Yeah.
That's
Same thing as
so
like
And
the
his
kid who
brother
pees
was
his
like
pants.
cool and like a cool kid, and then the
my
little
God.
brother was just labeled the jacker off.
That's so
fucking
disturbing.
crazy.
I felt so bad for my friend because she was like the cutest little sweetest, like
Right,
why are you
right.
jacking off to me.
Oh my
That's
god.
so disturbing. Oh my god.
Holy shit. That's what I'm
Ew.
saying.
Ew,
Like that
so
kid,
gross.
that kid was probably sitting back there being like, please God, I don't want to be jerking
Right,
off
right,
right,
like,
now.
no, I can't
I'm in
help
class
myself.
and this girl is so sweet. Why am I doing this? Like I'm sure that's what
Wanna
happened
hear-
to that poor boy.
Something fucked up in middle school. These two people were dating, a guy and a girl, and they broke up because the guy told the girl, I don't know why, we're in middle school, I don't know why this is a thing, told the girl that he would jerk off to me because it was easy to find pictures of me, because if you just search my name, I had headshots on Google, like you could just search my name and my
God,
pictures.
this is so scandalous.
Was this?
Like 6th, 7th grade.
It's so scandalous.
And he would just jerk off to pictures of me because I was easy to find pictures of on Google. Isn't that?
I mean, that
Told his girlfriend that?
Told his girlfriend that, and they broke up over it.
Of course they broke up over it, because first of all, that boy is lying. That boy is lying. He's just jerking off to you. Also,
jerk off
gross.
to
Like those are your like child modeling
And
photos.
I
did you
do
find
guys
out?
want to
Did the
see
girl tell you?
I know the photos.
photo?
I'm sure I know the photos.
I
wanna
have
see
the
it.
exact photo of what it was.
So did the girlfriend tell you that he said that?
He did. We were like friends.
Oh my
It was
Oh my
very.
God. Oh my
it was
God.
one of those things you just don't tell people, and he was just very honest about it, and it was something that I was like, haha, you know, like, oh,
Yeah, what the fuck do you say? Like, oh, I'm flattered, but not
Right.
really.
It was
fucking
this
creep.
photo.
What the hell?
Oh no.
Let me see.
That
Let me
feels
see.
wrong.
Let me see if I know it. I do know that photo, and that is weird. That's really fucking weird.
But I mean, it's
How
not
old are
like-
you in that photo?
I mean,
He's
this
just
was in
staring into
7th
your
grade.
eyes, jacking
It was,
off. to
yeah,
that.
I think it was 7th grade for sure, because I was definitely in 7th grade in this
That
photo.
so that's a new photo. Okay, so that wasn't like one of a like a young photo of you.
No, I was in 7th grade.
Okay, still
Yeah,
weird.
it was a new. It was the same year photo. It's not creepy though, because it wasn't like I was younger and he was jerking off to like
That's
a
what
younger
I thought.
photo of
That's
me.
what I thought you were
No,
saying.
no, same
Oh my God.
age. It's only weird because we all are now aware that
Totally.
he was jerking off
Why?
to photos
That's
of
totally
me on
fucking
the
weird.
internet.
It's
Like that
extremely
was
strange.
weird. It
It's
was
very
weird.
strange.
Definitely
It's very
weird. Middle school is a weird. Puberty is a weird time.
Puberty is a weird time. Middle school is a weird time. I don't even
weird
know.
time.
I don't even know. I don't even think I have any other questions about puberty.
I don't.
No, I
It's
think
just-
that jerk off photo is a great
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
to
I
think
slide
it's-
into.
Even that
It's
whole
a
conversation we
deal.
just had, like, you know, that was great. I was lovely to chit chat about it, but I'm still feeling awkward talking about puberty. I said period like 4 times. Like I'm gonna cry about that later in my head and be like, damn, I talk about period so much today.
And you know what's
My
sad?
mom's gonna hear that, and then what? You know?
I know you're gonna feel awkward about it.
100%.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
like,
not
she
even a
actually
joke.
will.
Like
No, it's
Kelly's
not.
actually going to feel awkward for the rest of the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Like I'm comfortable with it now, but you never will.
Yeah.
no. I'll never talk about this again. Like we'll never talk about this again.
And I hate to bring this up to make you're already uncomfortable, so
Yeah,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll
just
bring
do
it
it.
up.
Whatever, it's
In
fine.
Aruba, when
Oh,
we
no.
jumped in the ocean naked,
Oh,
Kelly
yeah.
was so blacked out.
Yeah, I was really drunk.
in the ocean, standing up, fully naked, boobs
We were
out,
all naked,
vagina,
not just
everyone.
me.
No, not just
Okay.
no, but
Everyone
I'm
was
just saying,
naked.
Kelly. Everyone was naked, but Kelly stands up in the ocean and she looks at everyone. She goes, "This is the most naked I've ever been in my life." She was like, "I am never even this naked in my home," and she was like, "I feel so free." And
a
then
fact.
we went
It's a
back,
fact. That's
kind
went
of
back to the
awesome.
hotel room where you were incoherent. You were done.
I was dead.
Yeah, you were
Fran
dead.
was dead. Grace and
Fran
I
was dead and naked in a
were
tub.
alive and well, watching Kelly run around the hotel room butt ass naked, going onto the balcony butt ass naked, like so free, like screaming about how free she is. And I
Naked
know
and
that
afraid.
this is something that she can't even
No.
understand that she did. Like
No,
that's
like,
how
I
fucked up
have
she was,
no-
because she would never do that.
Ever.
She
No.
would never
Never.
be that naked.
No. She felt
And-
free. She
no,
felt
she.
free.
I
Grace
have
was like, she's a
memories-
full nudist. She turned.
I have
she's a
memories of that
nudist.
entire night, like the entire night, up until you guys coming to the beach, finding me on the beach, and then us going in the ocean. I remember nothing after that point. I think I've blocked it out because I feel so
Yeah.
awkward about it. Like I don't remember it at all. Like you told me these stories, no idea, not a single second.
It
of
is
do I remember.
ingrained in my brain.
I wish it wasn't. I wish it would come out of your brain because I wish everybody would forget about it. And Grace, how am I ever gonna look Grace in the face again?
Oh my
Like,
God.
never.
No,
never.
trust
Poor,
me.
I mean,
Grace has seen some
Me
crazy
and Grace were
things.
dealing with our own issues. That we were
Yeah.
having a good time.
I'm
But we
literally
True,
dead
true.
asleep. I wake up. Both of them are standing over me saying, "Get up!" I'm like, "What the fuck
Grace
is
and I
going on?"
were
Yeah.
dancing
No.
around the hallway, screaming, "I'm still standing." We were like, "We're still standing," because nobody else was alive. We were like,
Everyone
what
died.
happened? But yeah,
it was crazy.
Don't worry. We'll
That's
all
all right.
remember.
I had four tropical martinis. I wish I threw up and went to bed like Brie. Instead, I blacked out and got naked everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
turned into a nudist.
very unlike
Yeah.
me. Very
Yep.
unlike me to do.
Let's get into the voicemails.
Let's get into the voicemails. All right, guys, let's get into the voicemails. Let's start it off. We'll keep going with puberty for a minute. Noah, please play the shaving your legs voicemail.
Hey guys, love the podcast. I just wanted to call about puberty. Embarrassing story. Well, it's really my mom is to blame because she didn't teach me how to shave my legs until after I was bullied at school for having, fucking really hairy legs. So anyway, I was sitting in gym class and this bitch was like, oh my God, you need to shave your legs so bad. And I looked at her like my little innocent sixth grader eyes and I was like, oh my God, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that is. And yeah, it was really embarrassing. So yeah, that's my story. Love you guys. Bye.
That's me. I was forced. My parents never told me to shave my legs, but this girl that was older than me made me shave my legs way too early. So then I was like, you know how it grows back and then you're like hairy for no reason. I was like shaving my legs since I was in second grade.
We had this story stuck out to me specifically because I was present for this exact scenario. Like not this girl, obviously, but a friend of mine that I was friends with in gym class. We were sitting together and there was another girl who her leg hair was really long and she had really dark hair, thick hair, whole thing. And we were maybe sixth grade, something like that, fifth something. And my friend was like, oh my God, like look at her. That's crazy. Like she needs to shave her legs. Like in my opinion, that my friend was probably just started shaving her legs like that 1 minute and then decided to like lord it all over everybody. And I remember thinking like, oh fuck, I better do my shit before like she sees me because I haven't shaved my legs. I don't even know what that's about. So I like didn't get the bullying, but I was on the side of it and then prevented it by like immediately shaving my legs.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Noticed that my legs were really hairy and I told my dad because we were in the car and I was on my way to a go-see for bikinis for Target as a kid.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my God, Dad, my legs are so hairy. Like, what do I do? And my dad was like, oh, just take a scissor and cut it. And I was like, what? And then we went home and my dad told my mom that I was like a little self-conscious about that, and then my mom handled it. She was like, all right, let's go to the store. Yeah,
that's sweet. That's a sweet way to do it. My mom first gave me she didn't want me to shave my legs too early, and I had come home with this story, but she bought me those, like, they're basically sandpaper. Have you ever done those where you like rub it on yourself and it like it's literally sandpaper, and you like rub it on your body and it like gets rid of the hair.
Oh, I only know like
it's actually
Nair.
Nice. It's my mom said didn't want me to use Nair because she was like, it'll fuck up your skin, so she gave me these. They were not good. They're not good for like adult hair. Like it's not good. They'd be fine for your arms probably, not your legs present day. They're bad. They worked for maybe a week and then I was like, all right, Mom, give me a fucking razor. Like this is come on. Like this is, let's get real.
Let's get rid of the sandpaper.
Exactly. Okay, let's play pedophiles. This is kind of a serious one also.
Oh shit.
Hi, first time caller, long time listener. Love the pod. Very good. So I'm calling in about predators. So let's see, probably 5 years ago, I was actually involved with a predator case. Myself and another family member were actually victims of a pedophile who lived next door. We had no idea.
Oh shit.
We trusted this guy, and you know, he is such a fucking piece of shit. I honestly hope this cocksucker fucking rots in hell.
Fuck yeah.
He did end up going to jail, but fuck, man, I fucking hate that guy. I fucking hate pedophiles. I think what we should do with any sort of predator at all, because I fucking hate them. I fucking hate them all. I think we should just fucking humanely neuter them, right? So that way they can't get off or anything like that on that shit. All right.
I'm with that.
Fuck
I'm gonna hang up and listen. Hopefully you guys put this in. Love you guys.
Yeah,
Love that.
I'm all for the neutering.
Totally on this guy's side.
I also love how passionate he is about hating pedophiles. I mean, like, obviously we all hate pedophiles, but he's like, I fucking hate
Yeah, because he's a victim of a pedophile.
Right, no,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
That shit
really,
happens, you know?
It's really sad.
It's so
Also, a movie that I wanted to mention, The Lovely Bones.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Crazy.
Love that movie.
And
so
the fact
crazy.
it's like a true story, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole thing.
While he was talking
Crazy
about that
fucking story.
biggest predator ever we forgot to talk about is Larry Nassar.
Larry Nassar, oh my fucking God.
Yes,
the
the gymnastics coach.
gymnastics coach, yeah.
So fucked up.
So
They
many
should all
fucking
be neutered.
predators
What a
and
dickhead.
pedophiles,
What a
yeah.
dickhead.
Cut
No.
their dicks off.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I don't even think we need to do it humanely.
Yeah,
right? Like, just
you're right.
We're done with you.
Yeah, that guy. You can
Even
tell
in
how
jail.
nice he was because he was like humanely neuter them.
Yeah,
Even
of
though
course.
he hated them so fucking much.
Right.
It's fucked up. All right, let's round it out with porn for research.
Hi, ladies. I absolutely love the podcast so far, and I'm such a huge fan. So I'm calling in about porn. And I actually don't watch it when I do my thing, but I do watch it for like research. I don't know how many other people do this, but I do just searching around, seeing what's up, seeing what people are doing. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but have you heard of ovipositors?
Oh, yeah.
If not, you should look it up. And let me know what you think. Thanks.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
So she can just refer back to the earlier part we talked about that. That's the inserting the alien eggs in your vagina as like masturbating, whatever. The
Disturbing.
weird shit. Disturbing shit.
I guess it
what
makes
she
sense
says
to research.
the porn for research thing, that was me watching porn for the most of my life. Like I was like, oh, I'm curious as to what that is or what that looks like. I'm just going to watch these. But it was never like, I'm not jerking off. I'm not, doing whatever. I'm just watching this as if it's like informative.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought that was only me. Yeah. I thought that not even like how to give a blowjob, just stuff like,
wow,
like how are other people having sex? Like how are people
not like step by step how to give a blowjob, but like how
what's it look like for other
on.
people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
More so of that. Just because out of just complete curiosity. Because again, I feel like porn and porn in movies are really different. Porn in movies, it's always like romantic and whatever. And in porn, it's like gritty and gross most of the time. And so I feel like being able to know that there is a difference, like not all sex is romantic like that, is helpful to know, I feel.
Definitely.
So,
I think so, for sure.
Yeah, but that about wraps up for the voicemails, ladies. What do you think about that little group of people?
Great group of voicemails every single week. They crushed it. Love that guy. Big fan of him.
Yep.
And unfortunately, no table read again this episode, but we'll be back with them next week. It's been a hectic schedule this week.
Maybe we'll put something out and people can suggest what they want to hear since it's been a while.
Yeah.
True, for table reads, that would be nice. Yeah. But anyway, the voicemails keep on rolling. So for next week, whenever we release the topics, you can call in at 551-258-3436.